Oh, say it out loud. Episode number 189.
Yep.
Oh, thanks. Eddie. Oh, and also Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also Alex. Hey,
We exist
I'm,
for now.
I'm still coming at you from a cell phone, so sometimes I just go disappear because bad cell phone service. Hey,
We've
Hey,
all been
I'm
there.
doing the Fonzie fingers.
Pink.
Oh,
What you
I
got?
think I heard my name.
Yes.
What you got going on in your channel this week?
Okay, what do I have coming out on my channel? There's gonna be a lot of Dead by Daylight coming out on my channel. I've got a lot of solo stuff coming out, and I probably, if not definitely, I definitely intend to start releasing the session I did with Mike. So I'll actually have a co-op DBD session going up, hopefully this week.
All right.
Yeah, outside of that, there should be nothing else.
How's the game treating you so far?
I really like it. I've had a lot of fun with it thus far. I still think I vastly prefer the survivor to the killer. I think both Mike and I both somehow came to the consensus that yeah, we kind of feel bad when we play as a killer. But yeah, but I've actually gotten a lot better as a killer. I'm able to actually find people now, which is nice. Because when I first started, I was telling you guys I'd like spend 15 minutes walking around the map, and then the doors would open, and everyone would run out, and I'd be like, "Hey, I wonder if anyone actually spawned, or if I just sat here alone in a game for 15 minutes. I don't know. You could convince me either way." So, uh, anything else of note there? I did get some of the DLC, not a lot, just a little. I picked up the I don't remember what they were called. I picked up 2 packs. Let me actually open up Steam real quick. One of them was Darkness Among Us, which contained the Legion and the Jeff.
Addy, do not say anything.
Yeah, no. And the other was the Demise of the Faithful, which contained the Plague and the Jane.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go for that one.
Yeah.
Is Jane particularly sus?
Shut up.
No, she's very thick.
So
Now you understand why Pink got that DLC.
oh yeah. So the Darkness Among Us pack I was looking at because both characters were considered very mid to low tier. I think at the tier list I looked up on the YouTubes, Jeff was like at the bottom tier alongside Ash. So
Ash
I was
is
like,
my boy, god damn it.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good choice. And I've been having a lot of fun with the Legion. I don't see why he's considered to be lower mid tier. I think it's because he can't reliably down anybody with his special ability. His special ability is more of a bleed out mechanic that kind of puts him in a more panic situation.
Yeah.
So I've been having a lot of fun with him though. I really enjoyed it. I think the Legion might actually be my favorite killer if it's not the Demogorgon, but I just also have a lot more experience with the Demogorgon.
Yeah, because you had him longer.
Yes. But between the two, they are very close. I quite enjoy them both a lot. And
This could not be any more different in terms of like aesthetic and story.
very, very much so, yeah.
Giant interdimensional monster. Edgy teenager with a shiv.
Right. That was another big reason why I bought them. I was like, this is just a group of teenagers with a knife. I'm gonna shake some people down for their lunch money. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Yeah. And I've only played one match so far as the Plague, but it's easily one of my favorite things ever to just vomit on people in a first-person perspective.
And it's the fact that you can arc the vomit as well.
Right? The first time I shot out the vomit spray, I just started busting out laughing because it was so humorous to look at.
And like otherwise, the plague is like probably the least hideous of the killers, and then she just does that.
right.
Uh,
It's a joy. It was a joy.
I've never played against a proper plague, but I have to imagine it's a nightmare whenever she's really good. Because I remember with Left 4 Dead, there are some people who would get really good with a boomer, and they figured out that the boomer can vomit has actual physics on it. So they figured out, oh, I can puke over like small wall. I can puke over walls, and it comes back down.
Yeah, physics. We can arc this over the fence there, and
Yeah,
it'll douse everybody. I like it.
so it just started. It would just be really confusing if you're playing against a good boomer because you just see vomit rain down on you and be like, "What the fuck?"
Where the heck did this come from?
uh,
It's rain and puke. Hallelujah.
does the plague not have two different varieties of puke?
I think she does, but I don't know how to swap between them. I think it's automatic because I remember the first initial shots I was firing, they all came out green, and then later on in the match they started coming out black. And I don't know what the difference is. I just know that it did become different over time.
She comes in two different flavors.
Yeah.
Sugar and
We
bile.
got peppermint and chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, Addie, you're right. She's got to take back what doesn't actually hit anybody. She's got to just suck it back up. Got to be economic with these things.
Right?
That vomit's got some fucking reach on it, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, there were plenty of times where I thought, "Oh, there's no way this will actually hit," but it did actually end up crossing the almost the entire map and actually smacking somebody in the face. And I was like, "Oh man, stuff is powerful."
Oh man, I'd love to play a game of Survivor against the plague, and you just see vomit arcing through the sky, but you don't see the plague.
Like a beacon.
Yeah, and by the way, Addie, like we're not talking like she just spits one gob. No, it's a honest to god full geyser stream of puke.
That's what I figured.
It's just so much more visceral when it's the full stream. Like if it was just one gob, that'd probably be easier to program and easier to make in graphic like capabilities. But it's the fact that they went for a full like geyser of vomit, you know? It's like someone fucking hit a. It's like someone hit the top of a fucking fire hydrant.
Right.
Like the human body should not be able to contain this much vomit. All right. Anything else about Dead by Daylight?
Anything else? Not really. Outside of all of that I just mentioned. Not really. Had a lot of fun rounds. A lot of fun rounds with Mike. Probably gonna be playing it again with him later today. So looking forward to that.
All right.
Outside of Dead by Daylight, though, what else did I do this week? I watched Money in the Bank. That kind of happened 2 weeks ago, but I didn't mention it on podcast 188 for obvious reasons.
Yeah, we're
So
still the upload, by the way.
So
We'll get it up eventually.
yeah, right. The big talking points for me regarding Money in the Bank were the actual Money in the Bank winners because they were Nikki Cross or Nikki Almost Superhero ASH and Big E, formerly of the New Day. Still hasn't dropped that new New Day gimmick though.
But what if he does become the new gay gimmick though?
Right. I just had flashbacks now because I'm pretty sure which Von Erich is alive. Kevin? Yeah, when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, he was giving props to the New Day or whatnot, and he also had that slip where he went, "Oh, the New Gay dies," but it was New Day guys.
Yeah, he went onto the podium through people pancakes and yelled, "You gay!"
Oh yeah, Big E. Finally, finally has that briefcase. Probably looking to bust out in the main event soon, hopefully. At the same time, though, in the previous years, the Money in the Bank winner has always been not handled particularly well. So honestly, they haven't really done that well since they gave it its own pay-per-view, which is worrying, but still.
Yeah, there's a long series of years where a Money in the Bank briefcase was a guaranteed championship, and then starting with when Cena won it, it's now become the opposite.
Yep. It's like, oh lordy, when was that? Trying to remember, recollect. I don't remember what year specifically that was, but to me, it was kind of once Jack Swagger won it at WrestleMania, and then they introduced its own pay-per-view. It felt like every winner was more or less not about similar to the Royal Rumble. It wasn't about creating an opportunity for a newer guy to break out. It was more, hey, we kind of want to put the belt on this guy, but don't have any good way to do it. But we know we want to do it soon, so let's give him the briefcase. Looking at you, Randy Orton, you didn't need it. And then consistently over the years, whenever a newer face got it, like Damien Sandow, Baron Corbin, somebody else that I'm definitely forgetting, they had just abysmal streaks going with the briefcase up until the point where they would lose the briefcase, and then everything felt like a waste of time. Because even though I don't think Corbin was at all ready for the main event, Sandow, I do believe, could have been something, and I think they really misspoke with him. But both of those guys, after dropping the briefcase, nothing big happens with them. And while they were holding the briefcase, nothing big happened with them. So it just felt like a complete waste.
I mean,
everything. Why do we even have the Money in the Bank match if you weren't ever going to actually pull the trigger on them?
The thing is,
that's why I don't watch WWE anymore. They don't push young guys. They don't push someone until the momentum is fully, entirely dead, or if they've already been champion 5 times already.
Yes.
Those are the only people who
they're way too scared to make any new stars, any legitimate new stars. And you'd think this would be prime opportunity to do so because all their old stars are freaking 48 now.
Oh, more Goldberg, though.
Yeah, more Goldberg, though. He's only 57. It'll be fine.
My God, what the fuck?
Look, Brock won't answer the phone, so we have to use freaking WCW Brock.
Brock's gone, isn't he? Brock's gone. Tell me Brock's gone.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Brock is gone, and he's actually been gone for quite a while. I want to say ever since the COVID era occurred, he's not been back. So
he got future endeavors.
In Canada.
I wish he could have the shame of being future endeavored. No, I'm sure Vince saw him off with an extra briefcase of $500,000 and a blowjob. You can come back anytime you want, Brock. I don't think I will. Please. If you'll excuse me, I'm off to go sit on my fucking farm. I'm going to stare at my wife's plastic surgery for a few hours.
What's really weird is that Sable lives on the farm as well.
Why?
I don't know. You know, you look at her and you
have
think
to spend more time around Brock Lesnar. Oh fuck! Oh God, wrestling is in such a bad state.
Oh yeah.
This makes New Generation seem like a golden era, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, at least New Generation had Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. What the fuck we got now?
We've got...
Mariachi Jericho.
Jericho needs to go away.
Yeah.
Jericho needs to go away.
You know, I was completely on board with the Judas effect, and then I saw it.
Oh, God. I haven't seen it. I've just heard Ted talking about it, and I was just like, "Oh God, Chris, I know you're old, but come on."
Right?
Like, is the code breaker that hard of a move on the back? I mean, maybe. Like I could see it, but like
Oh,
shit.
At his age, probably.
Hogan stopped doing the leg drop altogether. Hogan stopped wrestling altogether because the leg drop was annihilating his back. But like Jericho, the trouble is Jericho's not looking at things the right way. Jericho's answer is, "Oh, well, I'll just keep wrestling. I'll just change the entire way I wrestle to be much lamer." No, Chris, just stop fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
You can't get hurt if you're not taking any moves ever again.
Like
This
at Chris
is
Jericho's
very
age,
true.
at Chris Jericho's age, he goes.
The thing is, he doesn't even need to wrestle anymore. It's stupid that he continues to do so. Yeah, he's got plenty of other options. Even if he wanted to stay in the wrestling business, I mean, I think he's a co-owner or something with AEW, so he can easily transition to any other role in that company outside of wrestling. But he just wants to wrestle, and to a degree, I can respect that, because if you find something you love doing, you probably really don't want to give that up ever. But still, if you've got all your back problems and back issues, and you know you can't really go as much as you used to anymore, I mean, I think that should more or less make up your mind of like, hey, I really love to do this. I don't need to do this. I can watch other people do it. I can help other people get better at doing it. That should be his role now, and he's kind of double dipping. He's having it both ways, because he is more or less mentoring his quote unquote guys over in AEW, but he's still simultaneously wrestling, and he doesn't need to be doing that anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, what he needs to do is he needs to form DX and then show up on WCW the next week, and
Right.
But. While you were talking, I had this fucking image of the Young Bucks holding a guy down, like Chris Jericho's send-off match being an I Quit match. The Young Bucks hold the guy down, whoever is Chris's opponent, and Chris just starts fucking singing Sandpaper. That's his send-off match, a Fozzy concert.
Jericho would love that, and you know it.
Yep.
But like, but would he go along with it if his fucking music is what makes the enemy quit?
I don't know. Probably he's got a good humor on him.
He does. At the same time, he very clearly thinks he's awesome. So.
This is also true. It's two very conflicting statuses there.
Yeah, really, the hardest part about performing Sandpaper live on AEW would be licensing out M. Night Shadows.
Licensing out what?
Singer of Avenged Sevenfold. Sandpaper is a duet.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I actually have listened to Sandpaper. Not willingly, but, you know, I have. And M. Shadows is there. Like, the best part of Sandpaper is how Chris Jericho is doing his Chris Jericho things, and M. Shadows is doing his best to make the song sound good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like Avenged Sevenfold, but the song would be worse without
him. I really
him.
don't. I had a lot of friends back in high school who really loved Avenged Sevenfold, and I did not. They were not my favorite. They were probably my least favorite of it, all the bands that I knew.
They're not great.
Yeah, a couple years back, one of my classmates was like, "Hey, look at this Avenged Sevenfold music video. Look how fucking shocking it is, and how like freaking shocking the music is, because it's about like fucking a corpse or whatever." And I go, "Oh, neat."
Right. You know how everyone nowadays is so afraid of looking like a tryhard? To me, that was kind of the situation I was in back in high school when everybody loved Avenged Sevenfold. I was like, nope, that's the tryhard band. I want nothing to do with that.
I've not had much exposure to them, but yeah, it's Hail to the King is okay, but it's still kind of just a generic rock song.
Yeah.
Hail to the King would be improved by it being half the length.
Probably that as well. Yeah.
Like Hail to the King is a good song, and then it starts playing again, and that's. Pretty much, because like like if for like a half a minute album filler or something or other, like it's like it would be a good song. I like the instrumentals on it and whatever, but it drags on. Like there's too much actual mentions of the sentence "Hail to the King." It just it feels like they padded out that song.
Right.
But like yeah, the Spotify like I don't know what the fuck Spotify thinks my listening freaking likes are, cause it's like here have like classic Metallica, also Papa Roach, and fucking Avenged
Oh
Sevenfold.
no.
Like here's Megadeth, fucking I don't know.
Here's new Metallica.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
no!
no! Yeah. Fucking I had Symphony of Destruction followed by Saint Anger for like a week.
Oh god! Oh, god!
And I have limited skips because I can't pay for Spotify Premium.
Yeah. I very distinctly remember from Subaru's friends, Pat at one point says that the first album he ever bought with his own money was Saint Anger, and that's why he didn't buy any albums ever again. Does anyone like new Metallica?
I'm sure there's someone. Maybe.
There's gotta be somebody out there who knows the name Metallica but didn't listen to their music growing up, and then now that they're older and they want to look cool to all the people wearing Metallica shirts, they went out and bought the latest album and they think that's what Metallica is, and they're wrong.
I mean, maybe Lars likes Metallica still.
I don't know about that.
Whoever the fucking drummer is, I forget.
No, you were correct. That is the drummer.
Okay.
But I was going to say, I think I've figured out who likes new Metallica.
Yeah.
NASCAR fans.
Those don't exist.
Oh, my sweet summer child who has only lived on coasts.
Which is kind of funny because like their big race is held in Florida, right? That's all coast.
The race. That is true, but it's not really like. I guess it's probably popular with like Florida podunks, but like more so out in the Midwest, where the idea of driving in a circle for 5 hours sounds entertaining.
Right? Those poor country folk.
Oh my god. Back in North Carolina, we actually lived very near to a town that had like an entire district of the town was just one big fucking monument, like legit straight up monument to Dale Earnhardt Sr. And like, just honestly, it's like, oh my god, he was a hero. And it's like,
I was.
He killed Hitler.
I legitimately was going to make a joke about Dale Earnhardt having a monument, but
specifically, no. What would be great if it would just be the body.
not the head.
If you just make a sense in someone's head, it's like, oh, it's a bust.
No, I'm not saying his head. His hat. The clothing.
His
the
hat.
apparel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
I thought you were making a joke about his corpse being decapitated.
No.
Like there's a spinal cord coming out and everything.
Yes, so Sub-Zero provided us with this.
God is my witness, there's a blue ninja on the raceway.
And why is that yellow one's face a freaking a skeleton?
Hey,
Why aren't they double teaming Dale Earnhardt?
He stopped the car by hitting it with a spear. Oh god.
Yeah. Insert freaking video of freaking Sub-Zero and Scorpion doing tag team moves in the MK9.
The infinite tag team combos you can
yes. Sub-Zero and Scorpion are doing infinite tag team combos on the Daytona USA car.
I was about to say, yeah, the Daytona USA car from Fighters Mega Mix. Yes, yes.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So here's the thing. Pink doesn't know about the Daytona USA car and Fighters Mega Mix. I'm not at my computer. Addie,
All right.
can you get a picture of the
Yes.
Daytona USA car for Pink?
I like how that's the first freaking thing on Google. Like I just write rolling Fighters Mega Mix and it goes Daytona car.
Yeah.
All right, Pink. This is an actual fighting game.
What?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's incredible.
Oh, even better. Oh, this is a GIF. All right.
I'm excited.
Oh my god.
That's a Sonic character. It's fighting.
His name is Bark.
Yes, that's Bear. Is about to become Roadkill.
So I feel like we should at least explain. Sega at one point was like, we should do a Smash Brothers of all our 3D fighters, and also just include several of our other franchises. So they made a crossover between Virtua Fighter, Sonic the Fighters, and a couple other shitty 3D fighter franchises that they did.
Fighting
And we're
Vipers.
also, we made Daytona USA, so let's throw the fucking Hornet in there.
That was a good choice.
So it's just Sonic boxing with either a regular sized Sonic boxing with a small car, or a giant Sonic boxing with a regular sized car.
I think the second one is scarier, so let's go with that.
The idea of a human-sized NASCAR car would actually be kind of funny.
That's just the first Autobot.
Yeah. Is that just a dwarf transformer?
No, those exist. There are human-sized Autobots that are basically just mech suits.
Oh no, I grew up on Transformers. I know. I remember a few of them. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
wasn't that
Can
really
I interrupt
annoying?
for a second? For
What's up?
unimportant wrestling news?
What's that?
Bray Wyatt just got released.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
my
they'd never
God.
do it. But they did.
I was just last night talking about wrestling news with my mom, and she asked, "Oh, what happened with all those Duck Dynasty guys?" And we figured out, oh, Luke Harper's dead, Strowman and Rowan are gone, Wyatt's the only one left. And I said, and Wyatt's running that stupid evil Mr. Rogers gimmick, and she just rolled her eyes.
No, Wyatt's not running the evil Mr. Rogers gimmick. Freaking Alexa Bliss is running the evil Mr. Rogers gimmick now.
Wow, okay, so they just were straight up okay, Wyatt's useless. Give it to someone
Yes.
who can actually do something with it.
Even when Wyatt isn't on television, he's ruining the product because this gimmick he transferred over to Alexa Bliss is easily the worst thing on television.
And by
I
the way,
don't mean just in WWE, I mean television in general.
I just
across
want
all the channels,
I just
across
want-
the entire multiverse.
I just want to note that WWE released a new trading card, not a new season of that trading card game recently, and the two cover stars for it are Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt. So
I
it
did
wouldn't
put
be
the ugly people
WWE.
on it though.
It wouldn't be WWE if they didn't shaft good workers with bad storylines and gimmicks, while they put
Right.
all the hard work on pushing worthless fucking slobs like Bill Goldberg.
Right.
Oh, God. So is the women's division still the only good thing about WWE?
not anymore.
Basically, they fired all my cruiserweight boys, so yeah.
I mean, just because Alexa Bliss is working a bad gimmick, what do they got Natty doing nowadays?
She was teaming with Tamina. She recently injured her leg, so she's actually out of action. That was a very recent thing. I think it happened last week or so.
Did Tamina injure her?
No, Tamina was her partner. I think
That doesn't disqualify.
this is also very true. Tamina does have a very bad track record of that stuff, but yeah, she was in a. Oh lordy, it might have been actually, ironically enough, in a tag team match with Eva Marie, but Eva was, to my knowledge, not the person who injured her. It was her partner, who is Viper. Piper
I don't think Eva
Niven,
Marie can injure a fucking fly.
Freaking
right?
Netty's legs broke because they couldn't handle being in the presence of the Tamina god.
And Natalia's been carrying that entire division for well over a decade now. So, her legs were bound to give out eventually.
Yeah, at least like this, he can come back looking even more like a Khajiit, according to Ted.
Right. I'm not sure what he was on about. She looks normal to me, but still.
She's definitely had some. She definitely had some surgery. She definitely looks quite a bit different than she used to.
Right. I think it's
I think that also is underestimating the effects of age and changing your hairstyle.
right, and plus makeup, lots of makeup. Everybody has about a pound of makeup on TV. That includes
Yep.
men.
Well, they have to, or else they get fucked with the cameras.
Yep.
Then how many layers of makeup are freaking? I don't remember the name of the guy. The guy who's doing the mariachi sting gimmick in AEW.
Who is Mariachi Sting?
Just Sting in TNA. He used to dress like a mariachi.
Okay.
Did he really?
Am I hearing things correctly? Did Addy call a wrestler the Mariachi Stinky?
No, no, but Sting is wrong. So you are correct.
Gosh darn it.
Mary
When did Sting dress up as a mariachi person?
Sting. Okay, Sting. Okay, I heard Mariachi Stink. I was, what the fuck?
I'm genuinely
what the heck is that?
I'm genuinely looking up mariachi Sting TNA.
No, don't bother. Look up Mariachi Lesnar. It's like the only good thing Lesnar ever did.
But yeah, this is.
I'm looking this up as well. Sting. TNA.
It's not a full gimmick. He just got the jacket. But yeah, that jacket got like because he was still just doing the freaking the crow gimmick from what I get around that time in DNA, but
Right.
because he wore that jacket, people started calling him a mariachi.
I see.
And apparently in AEW there's a guy who started doing the crow gimmick as well. So Sting put on the mariachi jacket once again to face the evil that is stealing his gimmick.
Oh god, isn't it Jericho that's doing the fucking Sting ripoff
No.
gimmick?
Jericho is also doing it now. Yes, apparently.
He's doing it now too. I think it's Darby Allin who paints his face as well.
Oh my god, I'm Sting, you're
think
Sting, we're all Sting.
We're all Sting now. But yeah, I believe Darby Allin is the Sting, the mini Sting, because he's like 5 feet tall and 104 pounds.
Was there not
He's
a
not-
ripoff Sting in WCW who they just called Stink?
Stink is wrong.
Like,
I don't
I
know.
think they actually did do that at some point. There was a fake Sting they called
There was
Stink.
definitely a fake Sting. Whether or not they called him Stink, I don't remember, but I will choose to believe they did because I don't want to believe they didn't.
Like, I forget, it was one of the commentators that started calling him Stink, but I couldn't remember which one. Like, was Tony Giamavano commentating at that time?
Tony Schiavone?
I always forget it. I always fuck his last name up and just turn it into something else Italian.
Tony Giovanna.
Hey, it's Tony Pizza.
Tony Pizza.
Pizza pasta, put it in a box.
Okay, so was Pizza Pasta commentating at that time?
Probably. I would like to say yes. I'm pretty sure he was there for the good majority of the NWO days.
Yeah. I think it was him that started calling him Stink.
Right. How long
Kind of
was
a wonder
commentary
that
out
didn't
there?
stick
I
with
don't
Sting.
remember.
Like, I'm sorry.
I was trying to remember all the commentators from WCW and trying to remember how long Heenan was on there.
Well, all I can remember is Tony, and I can remember Mongo.
Mongo, my boy.
Never mind that shit. Here comes Mongo.
Yep. There are some days where we all just need to remember to be ours.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah.
freaking Money in the Bank, Pink. That's what we were
Freaking Money in
talking
the
about.
Bank. Yeah. I thought the majority of the matches were good. Some I didn't enjoy to watch because I really had no investment in them anyway. So, outside of the big Money in the Bank matches and probably the championship matches, I thought everything else was just kind of there, which, it is what it is. The only other major thing I want to point out that I really enjoyed from the matches was how they had Nikki Cross win it all. Was they did that spot that they tend to do every year, where all the wrestlers are on the ladder reaching up for the briefcase, and it makes for a good promo shot. And everyone usually gets knocked down, and then that final person is the one up there all alone to win it all. But they subverted that this year, where they had everyone doing their spot up on top of the ladder, doing the big promo shot with everyone reaching for the briefcase or punching each other in the face. And they had Nikki Cross run up the ladder, run up on top of the bodies, and just snatch it down like no big deal. And I thought that was the greatest thing ever. And I'm gonna put all the blame on Shane Helms for that one, because that's the only guy I can imagine coming up with that spot. I thought it was fantastic. That got a big pop from me, and it was a highlight of the entire show.
Saying climb over the bodies almost makes it sound like she stacked the other wrestlers up on top of the ladder.
Right?
Yep, use the
Nikki
broken A of
Cross
2K20.
climbs the tower of wrestler corpses to reach the briefcase.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Nikki Cross abused the broken AI and hit detection of 2K20 to her advantage. There actually is a glitch in 2K20 that I've seen recently.
Oh,
where if you do a ladder match, and like people, I don't know what caused it, but basically, you know how the AI can knock the ladder over if they grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the grab whiffs. Like they grab it, they should go into the throw animation where they knock it over, but they don't. Instead, they just get stuck to the ladder. So technically speaking, you could climb the bodies of your enemies in ladder matches in 2K20.
You keep calling 2K20 a bad game. That's great. This feature has never been included before, and I'm so happy it is now.
But like the best part is that they get stuck to the ladder like it's magnetic, and they're freaking glued up, and they can't move for the rest of the match.
Oh, that definitely happened in the old SmackDown versus as well. So never mind, that's not a first time feature, but still.
Fabio?
What's up?
Okay, I just heard noises, so I was worried that your internet might have cut you off or something.
Nope.
All right. Well, that wraps up Money in the Bank. I've got nothing else to say about that one. Final thing I'd like to bring up that I watched this week was I completed part 1, I think. I don't remember specifically what they were titled, but I'm assuming it was part 1 of season 3 of My Hero Academia. The arc where Bakugo is kidnapped and they try to coerce him to join the dark side. And
yeah, Sasuke Chibu arc.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm getting flashbacks here.
Right, and I thought it was all handled very well. I thought, I don't know specifically when you stopped watching Addy, but
I don't remember either, so like,
right.
I can tell you about what happened, or like if you tell me about what's happening, then I can go, yeah, I remember that happening, or I can go, I don't remember that, and that's the only way we'll find out.
Yeah, so the bad guys try to convince Bakugo to join their cause because he's such a hothead, And Bakugo goes, "No, I don't like you, and I'm gonna kick all your asses." And then he does that. And then they
We
bring
call
out
it
the
a
real big
target-rich
bad.
environment.
Yeah, target-rich environment, precisely. Then
Yeah,
they
that
bring out the real big bad, and they build up to the final showdown between All Might and All
guy
for
with the hand on
One.
his face. Isn't he the big bad? Guy with the hand
No,
on...
That's a cool
no, I'm
supervillain
talking about
name.
the bigger bad.
Or the bigger
Guy with
bad.
the hand on his face is the apprentice to the bigger bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Turns out there's a, turns out there's a supervillain pyramid scheme going on here, and it just keeps going up.
Right? There's always a bigger fish. As the
Yeah.
great mentor to Obi-Wan once said.
Yeah.
But yes, part 1 of season 3 concludes with the final showdown between All Might and All for One, and I thought it was one of the.
But all for
I
one
don't know.
is All Might's power, though.
No, One for All is.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot that they do the
Yes.
switcheroo with those names.
Right. So I thought this was a very, very entertaining battle sequence, which probably lasted a couple episodes. I don't remember how many, or if it lasted multiple episodes at all, because it didn't feel like it. Never felt like it dragged on, which I was very appreciative of, because the section I'm in now feels like it's dragging on for ages, and I'm waiting impatiently for it to start picking up again.
I may have quit around the time where you're at then.
I'm at the part where they're getting their provisional licenses for hero work or whatnot.
Yeah, I remember that there's like I remember there being like a filler episode where it's just like, I don't know, showing their lives in the dorm rooms, and then they actually like try to like give some time to the side characters, and then we go back to Midoriya and Midoriya training to freaking to do better things. I'm trying to talk about what happens without spoiling shit, and it's hard.
Right.
But
Right.
like Midoriya seeks out a new sensei after All Might nearly kills himself again, and then freaking that starts, and I think that's where I dropped it, because then they focus more on Deku, and I don't care about Deku.
Right. But yeah, the final sequence for part 1 of season 3, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was all very well paced, very well done. Very good dramatic battle. I really liked all the elements involved. I thought I don't quite like how they're so willing to make the cast make the absolute most stupid decisions you could possibly make, but it all works out in the end. That does get a little tiresome when it feels like there are no actual stakes. But I won't complain too much. It's a very forgivable thing, I suppose. So,
there is one important thing that we need to discuss about My Hero Academia. What are your thoughts on Grape Boy?
On who?
Grape Boy. I don't
Oh,
fucking
that
remember
little
his
shit.
name.
I hate
Yeah.
him.
All right. Good. That's the right answer.
That is the only correct answer.
So W, there's a character in My Hero Academia who is Master Roshi without any of the redeeming qualities.
Oh.
He's also
So
on the
I'm
good
not
guy's
watching
side.
this show.
Yeah, he that's easily the worst part of the show, and it sucks because he apparently does not die, or at least up until the point that I've watched. I'm still hoping we dedicate like at least a whole episode to his untimely demise, but I don't think it's actually going to happen. I think that's just wishful thinking on my part.
From what I've heard, we are on season 5. From what I've heard, I don't remember when I last heard about actual plot developments, but from what I heard, the last time I got updated, he was still alive. So
that is a shame. That is a shame.
Yeah.
All Might never does the really heroic thing and just snaps his neck.
Right.
It's too sticky.
It's too sticky. Ew. I don't want to think about that.
That is his superpower.
You're not.
He's a fucking cum demon. That's his superpower.
Oh my god.
No, it's not. That's a joke, but it nearly is. Like I'm calling him Grape Boy because he has grape hairs. Or grape. He has hair that looks like grapes, and then he can detach the grapes, and they are like super fucking sticky, and we don't know why they're sticky. So I'm just saying it's cum. Because
I'm disturbed even more so now.
That kid is practically made of fucking cum. I mean, he surely should have been a cum stain. Anyway,
yeah.
That one should have been a pump and dump.
Yeah, that wraps up my week.
Imagine for a second there was like UI on your balls that told you which one you're gonna get if you do it right now. So people just start jerking off until they get like the roll they want.
Yeah, you need to get the good kid gotcha. You need to get the good kid gotcha. You can either wait for the freaking the refill and then just keep rolling again, or you can pay $5.99 to God for a chance of a better roll next time.
Like Persona, all right, I gotta keep re-rolling the fusion until I get the moves I'm looking for. All right. Anyways, where do we go from there?
Home.
I don't know. Addy, what'd you do this week?
I mean, should I go or should W go? Because his internet may give out.
I think Addy should go ahead and say Addy, what's going up on your channel?
Nothing on my channel.
All right, nothing's going up on my channel. What's going up on the FOS channel?
All right. So, on Monday we have the 11th episode of Strider 2014, titled Chainsmoke Like Mega Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we all should chainsmoke like Mega Man, I guess.
R.I.P. Mega Man. Lung cancer is a bitch.
Then, on Tuesday, I think, we have Part 5 of Left 4 Dead 2, titled Goofy Jumps Out the Window.
Wait, I need to see this now.
You were there.
I was there?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know what we're talking about. Now I know what we're talking about.
We called Goofy having an affair and he jumped out the fucking window.
Gosh, I just couldn't keep it in my pants.
Then, on Wednesday, I think? I don't know, the 4th. We have Undernight Invert, Exhalate Clear, and also some other stuff for Fighting Games are the last episode of Season 1. Which I'm calling it Season 1 because we're changing how things will be ran around there. So hey, and finally on Friday, no, actually not Friday.
There's a new sheriff in town.
Yes, we are now getting paid by Vince McMahon to talk about fighting games.
Fighting games, quotation marks.
So yeah, on Friday we have episode 12 of Ratchet and Clank. That doesn't have a funny title, so I won't say it. And then on Saturday, the last video of the week is Pink and I draw furry porn. Hey.
All right.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
I was going to title that video "The Reason Alex Can't Sleep," but I was like maybe that's been a bit more descriptive, Addy.
Okay. No. Uh-oh, they're gone. Okay.
I'm here.
What happened?
Shit. You just didn't say anything for like a fucking hour, so I was like, oh, well, they're gone. All right, well, back to reading, I guess.
So, yeah. W, do you want to go ahead with what you did this week then? Or should I?
Go ahead with what you've done this week.
All right. So, I don't even know where to fucking start. Holy shit. I drew a bit, just a little bit. I mean, yeah. So we are getting close to episode 200 of the podcast, and also freaking to another year done. So I figured, hey, I made freaking where is this thing? Great. So yeah, I made a concept for an idea of a new logo for the channel, because eventually, like before the 200 podcast, we should probably, like, if we're able to with W's internet, we should probably sit down and do another freaking design session for the new podcast logo and stuff like that. But here's the concept, my concept for the new channel icon. Which, if you don't like it, that's fine, because I've already started salvaging the parts of this logo that I liked for other things.
I like it.
I do like it as well.
Like, I'm never very big on sitting in on the design sessions because I near always say like, that's good enough. I don't
It works for
contribute
me.
a whole lot.
I don't know why I'm here, but that works for me.
Nah.
But yeah, so I did that. I mean, it definitely needs a lot of refinement, in my opinion, but it's okay for a start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similarly, before we decided to change things about fighting games are, so I don't know if I told you this, W, but I actually fucking hate the logo that we had for fighting games on until now. Like, it just
I don't
looks
remember what
so
it is.
bad. Well, this is the current logo. It is really bad because it's an early drawing, you know.
It's not terrible, but I do think that you can't tell it's supposed to be Akuma and Faust. Like Faust, maybe, but Akuma has been turned into a red mountain.
Yeah, as it should be.
I do like the symbols of Akuma and Faust's heads, though.
Yeah, so I decided, hey, I'm gonna try making a concept for our replacement or our new logo for the freaking that podcast, and I came up with this idea, which I made two versions of, one with color coding still and one without it. I did try to keep things like close to this logo just to keep things familiar. I don't know how much we want to keep of the old logo. I also remade the faces, and Akuma looks fucking ugly. But hey, this is a pre-production logo that's gonna get fixed maybe.
I like it. I think we should stick with the one that's just like without the colored versions of Akuma
Yeah.
and Faust faces. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one better too. Think you've been on fighting games or once?
Yes, I have.
Oh man, are we suggesting the idea that we should throw in heads for like a fighting game head for everyone who shows up on FGA?
I mean, I don't know, but we could. Pink, who would you want, Kemi or?
Just put Cammy's ass in there.
Yeah, I was about to say instead of a face, Pink gets Bison's big fucking dumpy. As an icon.
Bison's ass too.
I feel like that would just raise questions.
So yeah, that's the actual like serious design work that I did. I guess I don't know how much I'd call this shit serious, but you know. Then, oh yeah, I did finish a game. Well, kind of, I guess. So, in preparation for Pink's thing, as I said, I did start playing through whatchamacallit, Spider-Man PS4 on the hardest difficulty. I actually finished that and 100% at it because I wanted to have all of the costumes. Just like I wanted to have the option for us to use all of the costumes at the start of the game if Pink wants it. Pretty much. So I now have the achievement for beating the game on New Game Plus on the hardest difficulty.
All right.
And yeah, that I ignored the freaking the crimes during the actual like playthrough of the game because I wanted
What a
to
hero.
because I want to get through the story faster. But this also meant that I spent the last 2 days just fucking swinging around New York looking for crimes. And the thing is, Because I'm Peter Parker. I can't even fucking start my own crimes to solve.
You remember? Okay, did you watch Spider-Man: Homecoming, Addy?
No.
So one of the very first scenes in Spider-Man: Homecoming focuses on Spider-Man patrolling for crimes and finding out, oh, it's like actually just virtually impossible to just swing around looking for crimes. That's not how crime works.
Yeah.
Spider-Man PS4, he has like a police radio, doesn't he?
No, he's hacked into the police have these freaking surveillance radio, or not, surveillance towers, and then Spider-Man's hacked into that so that anything that gets called into the police, he also hears.
Okay, so that's different.
But yeah, that didn't make it easier because I legitimately just had to sit down and figure out the spawn rates for the random crimes around New York.
Ah,
Spider-Man, if nothing else, I should actually be or at least alright on the fighting mechanic now for the time when we recorded with Pink.
I've beaten it on the hardest difficulty. I am okay.
I mean, I beat it on the hardest difficulty in New Game Plus. I don't know how much that counts.
I'd say it still counts for a lot.
I don't know, because I started out with all of the moves already. Because you can get all of the moves during a playthrough, all of the moves and upgrades during one playthrough.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. Like it depends. If Pink wants wants us to swing around New York in our underwear, then we're gonna have to do a New Game Plus playthrough instead of a normal one. So we'll just have all of the moves anyway. But yeah. That's the 100% completion bonus, by the way, Pink. You get to swing around New York in your underwear.
It's just what I've always wanted.
So is there anything else I played particularly? Well, I did start production on a video. So remember how I said that I recorded my normal playthrough of Spider-Man? Yeah, that fucking review got fucked. to speak in completely technical terms, and I'm gonna need to figure out how to salvage the parts that are still there. I mean, I still have all of the footage and stuff like that. I just need to genuinely re-record all of that footage in smaller parts and stuff like that. So my recording or my editing software won't shit itself, which kind of sucks.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I put it on the back burner because I was like, oh, I'm gonna freaking I was like, oh, I'm gonna look through all 20 hours, 18 hours, I think my playthrough was. I'm gonna look through all 18 hours of the footage and find the best shots that I got during my normal playthrough and make like a freaking short trailer type thing for the intro of the review for the game. That's not happening anymore. There's I could still do it, but trying to switch to 18 hours for, I think it was 30 seconds of an actual intro. Trying to do that once was testing, and I couldn't finish it before the freaking the editing software shut itself. I am not doing it again. I am not going through 18 hours of footage just trying to find the freaking the points where I didn't move the camera or whatever. While Peter was holding a car. It would be nice, but I can't be arsed anymore. So instead I was like, okay, so long games or longerish games, I can't do full playthroughs of because of this anymore. I mean, I couldn't before, but I know definitively that until I get a better PC, it is just impossible. Because beforehand, the reason I didn't do it is because I was just fucking lazy.
Yeah.
So I went, all right, what's a shorter game that I can review? And, well, getting ready for the fighting games, we played a lot of Uni. So I went, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna review Uni. Here's the
All
issue.
right.
Here's the issue with that. I also went, hey Eddie, it's time for us to make the mistake. Because for a couple of years now, I've been wanting to freaking to make some changes with how the reviews are structured and presented and shit. And the
How they're
stuff,
suctioned so you can get them into the vacuumed containers.
yeah,
That way we can take our reviews into space.
the only place where capitalism doesn't have its handhold or foothold or whatever the fuck the red alert.
The Tim Curry line. I know you're saying the Tim Curry line.
Yeah, but so basically there are many mistakes in the production already, and it's not mistakes where it's like I fuck something up and I just go, okay, I'm gonna fix that. No, it's things where I'm gonna make a video, I'm gonna send it to the two of you, and then you're gonna have to tell me if it fucking sucks. Because I can't tell.
All right.
But basically, I tried to there's gonna be if the actual review turns out good, then I'm gonna have to make a second complimentary video as well, just to go along with it for reasons. But this is one scene from the review, and some of this may explain why this is a longer undertaking than it should be. So this may be a scene from the review. I'm sure it will be more zoomed in.
Holy Jesus.
Yeah.
What is a pretzel?
It is a delicious salty snack invented by Christian monks.
Ah.
You eat it while you play fighting games.
Yes. You eat it while you do the motion in KOF. That's
if
why.
You throw a pretzel at your controller, then it'll make your character light on fire.
Yeah.
Whoa.
If you insert a pretzel into your Xbox's freaking battery compartment, then Geese does the Raging Storm by default.
In whatever game you're playing, it doesn't matter which game, it just summons Geese and he does that.
Yeah. By the way,
playing The Sims and I put a pretzel in my Xbox and Geese lights my house on fire.
He laughs.
But I built my house too tall, so he falls off the top.
Yeah. I actually had to fucking genuinely write all of that shit out. That's my handwriting.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's no better way to symbolize the fact, I complain. I don't know if I complain about it. To me it feels like complaining, but I don't know if it comes off as that to y'all. But like a lot of times I bring up how I have freaking learning disabilities and stuff like that, and my dysgraphia shows very well in that question mark, because that's like I did a completely what to me is a completely smooth circular motion to draw that. That's a fucking square. I don't know how that happened, but yeah. And so basically, that because for years I've been like I feel like I could do some bits, or like some things could be enhanced if there was like a proper on-screen character and stuff like that. Because I've seen. I'm choking on my own saliva in the background, by the way. But like I've seen other people use it to enhance their own videos, and so I was like, you know what? I wish I could draw so that I could try it out to see if I can make it work like that too. And I mean, I don't know if I'd say that I can draw now, but I'm closer to it than I was a year ago. So
yeah.
But the downside with this is that I'm gonna need to draw at least like I'm gonna need to draw, I don't know, like 2 or 4 like character art pieces of character art for every emotion. Because I'm not fucking animating this properly. Like this, that would take me like 2 years.
Indeed.
So it's just gonna be a fucking like a RenTuber thing. But and that's gonna
There's
take
nothing wrong with that.
Then let's see what else I did. Well, during Fighting Games R, W and I came up with a character concept, and I went, then I'm gonna need to make art of that. So I made a concept art of that, I guess. I made this in an hour, so it's not refined at all.
Oh my god.
Yeah!
Baraga lives.
Baraga. Balraga, yeah, there we go.
You know, I could have tried better, honestly, but
For such a stupid concept, I mean,
I don't know. Sometimes the concepts are like, sometimes stupid concepts can work and do deserve more freaking like shit put into them. Because like like yesterday or the day before, I spent 2 hours getting hyped up about a character that doesn't exist. But like I don't remember why. But for whatever reason, the concept of our president fighter came up in my head, and I was like, oh, freaking like what parallels could I draw between like the various presidents and freaking like normal fighting game characters, like how which roles would they fill? And I was like, well, Abe Lincoln is probably the most well-known American president, so he would have to be Ryu, but then he was a wrestler. So how do I work with that? And then my mind just my mind went in freaking like like at first it was just okay, just have Soul. Soul has a grapple, but he's pretty much a Shoto still. But then I was like, no, but what if Abe Lincoln was just a normal Shoto, but then there was also a separate wrestler character who is totally not Abe Lincoln, like like at all. And then that somehow spiraled into this character concept, but it's just a fucking a character concept of a guy, but Sage it's Abe, which is just fucking Japanese for honest Abe. And it's American Tizok. It's a guy. It's a big buff fucking dude with an eagle head, and the eagle head moves, so you don't know if it's like if it's actually a fucking eagle guy or if it's just cartoon physics masks. And I spent 2 hours trying to figure out the strings and special moves and the freaking desperation supers for that guy. Like I came up with the fucking bio for the dude because like I don't know why, but like even if like it's the sort of character where if I eventually freaking like if for whatever reason somehow I got to working on a fighting game and I had to make my own characters, I probably would make that one exist, just because I find the idea of making a character that's just a buff Japanese wrestler guy that secretly may be Abe Lincoln, and then acknowledging that he may secretly be Abe Lincoln in his bio is just super funny to me. Like, he just has a normal wrestler bio, and then also the last sentence is, some people suspect that he is Abraham Lincoln. And it's especially good. It's especially good if Abraham Lincoln should have died like 200 years ago or more by the time the fucking game happens.
Yep.
So yeah. So sometimes things like that happen. Then, let's see what else I did. Where is it? Oh, is it? Yes. All right. So, I've made a piece of artwork, and the art, like when I sat down to make the art, quote unquote, but when I sat down to fucking draw, I was like, I'm gonna do thing, and it didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it to, and I made it into a fucking comic. Because hey,
All right,
is it? This is the genesis of that piece of art. Originally, I wanted in the third panel, I wanted the Alexa to just be a cardboard cutout of Alexa Bliss, but the cardboard cutout wouldn't come out looking right. So then I wanted to make it one of those like Thermos Alexas dressed up as Alexa Bliss, but then it looked like an Alexa Bliss team flashlight, and some people might be about that life, but I'm not. So I just went fuck it, hockey puck.
I think it'd be really funny if it was like just an Amazon Alexa, but it's got an Alexa Bliss wig with a dye on it and like a little Alexa Bliss, like I don't know.
Yes, that's what I tried. That's what I tried drawing the second time, but it just looked like an Alexa Bliss themed flashlight.
Oh, I thought you were saying you'd like put a face and stuff on it.
No. I just literally took one of those Thermos standing Alexas and just dressed it up like Alexa Bliss with the hair and all. But I didn't like how misconstrued it could become. So I was like, yeah, hockey puck. And like that fucking rabbit, by the way, I showed it to my mom, and it's probably the first time that her mouth was agape about a drawing I made. Like, I don't know, because to me it just looks it's all right, but nothing better, honestly. If you ask me.
Yeah. Let me take another look here.
I can post I can post a full thing of the rabbit because I saved it separately too.
It looks good to me.
Like the one thing I like is the freaking the belt buckle. I think that's cute. But like genuinely, I sat down and I was like, I'm just gonna draw a normal rabbit, and then I drew the eyes and I was like, why is it giving me bedroom eyes? Eddie, why is the rabbit giving me bedroom eyes? So I was like, fuck it, lean into it. What else did I do? Because I drew a lot. Oh yeah, for the freaking the uni the uni review, I did make my own notations. But I did make my own annotation button press things, which I won't post all of them. But these may or may not be the things that I repurposed the some of the design ideas of the logo thing for the channel. Which, I mean, these are okay, I guess. They're better when you're looking at them from afar. Which, I mean, they're supposed to be very small buttons on a screen, so it's okay.
I like them.
But I also made a really scuffy controller. This screams fucking Mad Cats to me. It screams Mad Cats.
I like that the triggers are about as big as the handles.
Yeah, I'll probably need to freaking redraw it, but that can wait. That can wait until I'm nearly done with the video, and then I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm too lazy. But I made this because for the uni thing, I feel like there's with reviews, sometimes you need to consider, what are important things to talk about the game, and what are important things that you need to put into the video so that the game makes sense, to give context. And sometimes you need to leave out context, because actually giving context would take too much time, and that's where I'm at with uni, because freaking like in the video I just I just say things like, most of the supers are on half circle forward D, and that makes sense to me and W, because both of us know the separate notations for anime fighters and shit like that, and we know what a half circle forward means. But freaking random fucking Joe off the street who may stumble upon my channel because he watched several, or because he played Devil Kings on the PS2, and my video still may be the top recommended video for Devil Kings. Top recommended review anyway, I think, maybe. Like, if they stumble upon it and they're like, what the fuck's an Under Night? Like, I wouldn't want to just go freaking half circle forward D. So to give context to that, I'm probably gonna make a separate video that talks about fighting game annotations and why, all of it that I know. So basically, just why, how, what. I'm gonna try to explain all of those, and that's probably gonna be the only time when I actually make like a guide thing, because like there's other people who know fighting games better than me doing that sort of stuff. I don't need to. The only reason I want to do it is because freaking making a review about a game and then using things and just going, oh, just fucking watch this other guy is kind of lame. So if I do this once and explain all of the fighting game notations, then I can just go, hey, I made this video, and you can just watch it like right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah. By the way, drawing an arrow, like drawing a proper arrow that looks good on a screen, is really hard. Surprisingly hard.
Yep.
All right. Did I draw anything else? I don't remember. Maybe not. I did take a couple days of a break just because like I have noticed that I learn in blocks. Like I need to push myself until my drawings get worse, and then I need to take a couple days of break, and then I will actually improve again.
Yeah.
But yeah. So aside from that, all right. Let's how do I transition into this topic? Well, all right. So I don't know how I'll transition, so I'm just gonna do things raw, and then something will happen with how the conversation will go, I guess. But basically, you know how a couple of weeks back I complained about like the whole thing that's going on in my head. Wow, I can't speak. But yeah, the whole thing that's going on in my head, and how basically how my head, like I don't know what to call it, the personification of my hangups and my fucking mental illnesses is forcing me to do shit, or like not do shit, I guess, not let me be me and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of an issue with some things, because at that same time I freaking said that, you know what, it would be nice if my family believed me when I told them that I'm ace and all that. But I can't fault them too much, because even that personification part of me doesn't fucking believe it, apparently. I mean, this is something that we've kind of known, because I have talked around it, I guess. But like, you know, when I fucking realized it, I remember seeing like someone posted like, because okay, that actually does need a bit of context, I guess, because you all remember I used to be very right wing, very right wing at one point.
Kinda, yeah.
And
on social matters, economic matters, I think you've always been kind of left leaning.
yeah. But so I yeah. And in one of those circles, someone posted like a weekly or not even a weekly. It was just like a post I came across that was like you know, here's the list of sexualities that Tumblr recognizes and their definitions. And I saw asexual there, and then I was like, that fucking fits me. And I remember, I basically what has happened since then, because this was back in 2013. What has happened since then is freaking that part of me went, well, yes, Eddie, you can recognize that you're asexual. At the same time, that won't stop me from trying to freaking trying to force you to be as straight as possible, which we've discussed parts of, but it's come back again as an issue this week because freaking for whatever reason in the past like 2 or 3 weeks. The furry Reddit I visit went into horny mode, which is fine because they need to be those posts need to be tagged so that they get censored and shit like that. But you know, in the back of my head, the thing was constantly going over. You know, freaking like basically, the son of a bitch. It's weird. This whole setup is weird, but fuck it. But yeah, the son of a bitch fucking basically forced me to look at furry porn, just to prove that I don't feel anything, and I don't. At least, like it's this thing where I constantly need to fucking like I need to pretty nigh constantly fucking prove the things that I already know just because. I don't know, because it's not supposed to be normal or whatever the fuck. I don't get it. Yeah.
No one's really normal.
But I know it's not like it's not a thing where like I know that there's not really a thing such as normal and stuff like that, but there's still the like because I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I am very submissive. Like I need to compromise with everyone. I need to fucking like I don't know, like that's partially why whenever y'all ask what games we wanna play, I just go fuck it, I don't care, cause like well I genuinely don't, cause that's part of my like the part of my brain that probably could make that choice is just closed off. It has not been in service for years. But like yeah that and like you know. So a part of me is constantly like you need to stop being you need to start being normal, whatever the fuck normal is. There's not even really a definition for me to what normal is supposed to be. It's just not what I am, I guess.
The other day I saw a quote that I really liked from the chick from X-Files, Gillian Anderson, I think. It's Gillian Anderson, right?
I don't know.
I have only seen like one episode of X-Files.
Well, she said that normality is pretty well impossible, and she doesn't shoot for that, but she tries to shoot for being stable, is what she said. Which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Like, the issue is, like, I don't know what like, that's the thing. I don't know what the actual issue is with me. Like I don't... Like I can only define it as striving to be normal, but it's not really that. It's just like it's trying to fit into what I perceive other people. It's trying to force me to fit into what I perceive other people to want me to be. Which,
well,
yeah.
We can't tell you how you'd feel, and that's pretty well up to you and what you feel about other people. What you've got to understand is that from a perspective of someone who is very secure in the idea that they are heterosexual or homosexual or bisexual, there is this very distinctive idea that, like, for those of us who have an actual healthy view of our sexuality and aren't just trying to bang anything that moves,
hey,
we tend to have a mentality that we want a lifetime companion. You know, and sex comes into it, of course, but sex is all well and good and fun, but also just having someone to spend your life with, you know?
Yeah.
And so for us, the idea of asexuality sounds like a terribly lonely life.
I mean, maybe.
So I think that it's...
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that what it is that a lot of people, if you suggest the idea that you may be asexual, people who are secure in the idea that they are some variety of sexual will likely project their fears onto you.
Yeah, maybe. But then why do I project? Why does that part of me project those fears to me too? Like, that's the weird part. Because, like, you know, it is a more complex issue than I give it the time of day, just because, like, there are some things that I can't know like the way I am. Like, basically, I don't know romantically where I lean, if I lean. Like, there are people who are straight up fucking aromantic and asexual, and that's a life. That's a fucking hand to get. Holy shit, is it?
Nah.
But like,
Well, I mean, if they don't want any kind of relationship like that, then I guess that might be different. But even then, I think they still need friends.
yeah. I
But
mean,
what was I going to say?
it's not like like I think the thing with that combo is that like you legitimately just cannot feel anything. Like it's like, well, it's like, okay, when I say anything, I mean that like you don't feel romantic love or fucking lust at all. So you know, being like coming from a fucking from like the online background that I have, for example, where everyone constantly went, "Oh, dicks, fucking," I don't know. It's like I can't even make good satire because but like, you know, coming from boner culture, basically coming from an internet background of everybody being fucking horny on main. It, like, even though I don't feel lost either. Even to me, that's kind of weird. And the thing is, like, I don't know if I feel romantic love either, because I haven't yet. So
Well, you've generally speaking, from what it sounds like, I don't know your life, but from what you've described, you're not a terribly social person, and most of the time that you have spent out in public around other people, you've generally been around a lot of really bad people.
the strangers, yeah. Like usually, like my thing is that I don't go out because I don't have a reason to go out. Because people haven't growing up and being forced to go out because of school and stuff like that. Even though I was homeschooled, like freaking just going whenever I was forced to be outside. The people who were in my life for longer, like, you know, they like, you know, people who weren't like providing services or just random passers-by, weren't particularly the nicest usually. I mean, they were in my second high school. That's 9 years of school life. That was shit. Yeah, it is 9 years. It is all right. So like my view of strangers isn't probably isn't great. And so and like outdoors activities don't really interest me either. So I just don't have a lot of reasons to go out, because like that's another thing, because of my stress based epilepsy. I couldn't do outdoors activities even if I liked them, because I'd just die. Well, okay, I wouldn't die. I would have seizures and then eventually probably die from them.
I would immediately die, but that was a solid option.
Yeah. Like it. Yeah. And so that's the weird part to me, is that time and time again, like, I fucking go along with this shit because I want it to be done, and I want, like, you know, it would be really nice to just go, yeah, I'm fucking asexual, because I know that I am, like, that I have no reason to believe otherwise, because I have had years of fucking proof. Let's just leave it at that. Because this isn't the first time shit like this has happened, and like,
At the same time, like, Eddie,
yeah,
it's like when you say stuff like that to people, it sounds like you're trying to set things hard in stone, you know?
yeah. I mean, I would like to have it set in stone. Like,
I mean, if you just want to ask your parents to stop nagging you about getting a girlfriend, just ask them to stop nagging you about getting a girlfriend.
oh, I mean, it's not like, it's not even that, because like they don't nag me to get a girlfriend. Because, you know, it like, I don't go out, so it would be hard for me to get a girlfriend. But, you know, it's just like, it's not even my parents or anything. It legitimately is just like, I want freaking I want that other part of me to fucking just cease. Like I don't know how that of it freaking how I could go about fucking just murderizing that part of me out from existence, but it would be probably beneficial because shit's not getting done. In fact, she's getting worse sometimes, and yeah, like
You're never
and,
gonna,
and the
you're
thing,
never gonna get rid of the self doubt.
yeah,
As sad as it is. But it's a constant fight, but it gets easier. That's the thing.
because like the thing,
And
yeah,
it
go
gets
ahead.
to the point where you don't even notice him most days.
Because
But
like
it gets easier. That's the thing. But it starts off hard. That's the implicate. That's the implication of it gets easier. Is well, it doesn't start off easy, then does it?
yeah, and like the fucking hell words. So yeah, like where was I fucking going? My stuttering stopped. It stopped my train of thought. Uh I don't fucking remember. Holy shit! Where was I going? Like it I don't know. Like it would just be it would be nice if freaking like yeah, I know where I was going. Yeah. This is gonna be sound real nice on recording. I already know. Wait. Uh but yeah, like because my thing is like I've already made improvements in not fucking hating myself anymore. Because one of the reasons that like fucking hell, the best part about me talking about very personal things on the podcast is when even though I don't really like feel bad about any of this stuff, or I don't think it's a sore freaking topic or whatever, my body starts fucking crying, and I need to suppress it because it sounds bad on recording. Bloody hell! Like I don't feel hurt about any of this shit. Well, okay, I feel bothered by it, yeah, but not hurt, I guess. Uh,
By what specifically?
well, just having to deal with this, like having to deal with taking two steps back every couple of months with the freaking the progress I've made in things like not fucking hating myself anymore just because I woke up bad, pretty much. Cause like this furry shit, as weird as it is, somehow it's working. Cause like I am like I kind of know how and why, just because well, you know, the more I look into it, the more it's always been there. So it is kind of returning to form. But at the same time, I'm also trying to freaking to use this resurgence as a catalyst to just finally fucking mold myself into something that I can call me and shit like that. And sometimes like, you know, it's weird how for like back in November and before that, before this whole furry thing started too. Like back before I freaking let all three of us know that I'm a furry, very much. Like I don't know, I don't think I ever properly told y'all about this, but like whatever the fuck my issues with my body and stuff like that. Like it got to a point like I have told you about this on recording, but I haven't I cut it out of of that video I think because I figured it was too off topic. But yeah, like I told you about how when I looked into the mirror, it didn't felt like it was me. It felt like it was a stranger. Now the thing is, the thing I didn't tell you about, I don't think, or the times when I would get hit with a with a freaking nervous episode or whatever the fuck during the middle of the night, and I like a lot of our house is covered in glass or like yeah in not glass. What's the word I'm looking for? Mirrors. Yeah, mirrors. There's a lot of decorative mirrors in the house, because my mom likes them. And going out during the middle of the night, and then freaking like looking at yourself into the mirror because you have to do it because it's a compulsive thing. And looking into the mirror and feeling that any second the mirror image of yourself is going to snap, reach out, and start fucking strangling you is certainly unexperienced.
Oh my!
Especially when it happens multiple times.
There's a JonTron video about this.
Yes, I remember that. In the cock towel video, he sees man in the mirror. But yeah, like that like it sort of ties back into, I guess, that issue, which I mean, that I actually saw an interesting video about it recently, but it was interesting to me because, like, I look around the internet for freaking, like, okay, I don't look around for it. That's making it seem like I'm searching for it, but I'm not really. It's just when people share about their mental illnesses, sometimes I like to look them up because I like to be well informed, I guess. I don't know. And sometimes things sound similar to issues I'm having, so I look into it and then I go, okay, not likely, and then I move on. But rarely things line up well enough that I push it on a list, on a freaking list in my head, so that if I, or when I guess will get freaking proper help, which is supposed to be something that will happen in the future, but we can't afford it right now. But if once I'll be able to go to a psychologist, like those are things that I would ask them to look into, not because freaking like yeah. It's just things that I want to make sure aren't there if they aren't, and if they are, then I want to know about them. And one of those things is what is morphia? I think is the name.
Yeah.
That I heard about, which sounds a fucking lot like what I'm going through, but I was just like, well, I ain't a doctor. There's a lot of overlapping mental freaking issues. So like, I'll put it on the list, because it seems somewhat likely, but at the same time, I probably won't bring it up, just properly naming it as shit like that, because I'm not that sure about it. And then Ted called it like when we had the discussion with Ted a couple of months back. He called it out because he has a family member with it. And then recently, a person that I used to watch on YouTube released a video talking about their issues with it, because they have been diagnosed. And their experiences lined up a lot with mine. So yeah, I have a pretty good freaking, what's the word? I don't remember the word. Bloody hell! Why dictionary? Why is my internal dictionary so shit? I have a lot of words in there. I just never find them.
That's the problem.
But like, yeah, that's bumped it up on the list. Is what I'm trying to say, basically. Like, it's something I'm probably going to look into a lot faster. But yeah, like, because symptoms of shit like symptoms of body dysmorphia include shit like compulsively checking out yourself in the mirror, which I do a lot less now because I've but so like it's a thing where if I walk past the mirror, I need to at least glance into it. I don't know why I have to, because like it used to be bad enough that I would need to stand in front of it and then just freaking point out my perceived imperfections with myself. I got past that at least. That was bad. and things like that, and it's still a thing where it's an issue, but that is why, or like as I've said in the earlier weeks of the year, pretty much, Like I am kind of trying to use the furry thing to fucking mitigate that, because it fucking sucks, and it is working, but it's in a weird place right now where like I still need to look into the mirror, but so on the days where I'm fine, I can focus on my hair because my hair is like 80% there to where I want to be, and then I can just not pay attention to my actual body. Which is good because if I do, then I start pointing out things again, and the problem with things like body dysmorphia that person who was properly diagnosed as well pointed out is that like people can try to change themselves, and I mean I'm trying to, but that's like I'll come back to that. But like people can try to change themselves, but if they have it, they will never be satisfied because the problem isn't on the outside; it's on the inside. It's in their fucking head, and they can't help it. And the new freaking like a valuable piece of information for that in that video for me was that like they have been getting help for years, and they just went, oh, it never goes away properly. Like you get better about it, it gets more manageable. There is no cure. And that, like, it's
that's different from self-doubt. That's just body dysmorphia. That is, I'm not a doctor. All I know is it's some nasty business.
And that actually, like, that's a very sad thing. But somehow that puts me at more of an ease. Like, you know, it would be nice if shit like this had a cure, because then it would just stop eventually. Or like, you know, you could do things to make it stop eventually. But like it's getting more manageable is at least preferable to not, I guess.
Yeah.
And like, because of their talk about how changing shit, like some people go as far as plastic surgery and stuff like that, and I never would have gone that far, cause I mean, partially I've like, you know, my body ideal is becoming health wolf. I don't think plastic surgery is gonna help me with that. But like, but like even if my ideal was something more realistic. Like it's not something that I would have wanted to go with, because as much as I fucking hate this body, it is what I have, and like I know it's fucking, like, I know it's quirks and dead ends or whatever. Like I know it's pitfalls. Like if I got given the chance to go into another organic body, I wouldn't take it. And even if fucking mechs get developed enough for people to start just freaking putting their brains in robot bodies, I'll probably wait until this one fails enough for me to nearly die. Like, you know, I need a good reason to abandon this one, even though I fucking hate it. But yeah, and like I have been like, as I've said I don't know, it was a months back that I started working out, and sometimes progress is made on that, sometimes not, because I keep pushing myself to the point where blood comes out of orifices that they shouldn't. But you know,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's that's another thing. That is the thing I wanted to
Why did you say you're pushing your gal's blood to come out of orifices?
Oh, I'm just working out until blood comes out of orifices that they shouldn't.
Which ones?
I don't. The back door. There you go. That's right.
Oh, okay. So you're just shitting too hard.
Not necessarily. Because like I don't know the proper freaking the physics of it or whatever, but there is a point where, like, because, like, you know, I am fat, and I was even fatter, but I am still fat, So a lot of my workout focuses on my stomach, and from what I gather, you can focus on your stomach well enough that you freaking like it's not necessarily tied to working out, but you can freaking exert your stomach until freaking like bad things form. It doesn't heal properly, and bad things form, and then you like it, at that point it's probably like fucking life threatening.
Yeah,
And
I would say calm that down.
Yeah.
If your objective is just to burn fat, you're supposed to stick with cardio.
So
Like
yeah,
gaining muscle is all well and nice, but it sounds like you're looking to lose weight, which is much more cardio. If you stick to working your muscles, you're going to only gain weight, especially because muscle is actually heavier than fat.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to be particularly like muscly or whatever. Like, you know, I don't want to be buff. But there is a certain like there is a certain freaking build that I want to be, and I don't like people have told me that it's impossible, but I'm gonna like I'll find that out myself. Either I'll get there, or this body will fail to the point where it will be obvious to me that I can't get there.
Well, it's impossible to look like Hugh Jackman all the time, but that's because Hugh Jackman and other guys like that achieve that look by dehydrating themselves.
Yeah, and that's not the look I'm talking about. Like legitimately, people have told me. One of them was my doctor actually. But people have told me that I will never not look fat. Pretty much, like I can't look slim because that's just the kind of build that I was born with. And I'm gonna like most of my life, my freaking thing that drove me to reach new heights. I guess I don't know. Like the thing to better myself has always been to spite other people. If people tell me that whatever thing is impossible for me to do, then if I care about either their opinion or the thing enough, then I will freaking push it on until it becomes possible for me to do. That's how I that's how I learned English. Because back in 4th grade or 5th grade, I forget. They were like, oh, you know, he's homeschooled, so he needs to take tests, which we know, or we knew. And then they went, oh yeah, by the way, this year we added English to the courses, and we didn't tell you, and you have a week. So I had to learn how to speak English in a week, and I did. But like that's the thing. Like now that I didn't give a shit about my body because of the whole possible dysmorphia thing that's going on. But like now that I actually have an image of me that I want to like. Now that I have an image of me that I like. Even though I know I won't fucking turn into a wolf once I get slim, like I can at least get to a point where like I at least want to get to a point where I can get this body slim enough so that the fursuit will make me look like that, you know. So yeah. I don't know if there's anything I wanted to add, because like that, like usually when when shit gets bad enough, I just take fucking like scarecrows of the two of you, put them in my head, and then just monologue. And then if it doesn't work, then I actually tell you about it.
I like to imagine it midway through, like the scarecrow pig just falls over.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, my scarecrow would fall over. That'd be the accurate one. It somehow still makes the oh noise.
They have like a freaking. They have those actually I don't know what those were like those things that you shook around and it made duck noises. Both of the scarecrows have those in them, but they may make you noises. Do you all remember those things that you freaking you. Wow! Did I just make up a fucking word there? Yes, I think I did. What is the past tense of shake?
Shook.
Yeah, shook.
Thank you.
Shock.
Chuck.
Yes.
Chuck is a word. Chuck is a word.
Yeah, shuck is a word. It's not the word we're looking for.
Yeah.
Chuck is when you take the the skin off of a cob of corn.
Right.
All right. So yeah, do you already
Right here?
So do you
Right here.
Yeah.
Jimmy shucks corn, and I don't care, is what I hear.
Ah.
Is that supposed to be a metaphor for masturbation?
I think so.
Well, I learned something new today.
That'd be a very different song if it was just straight up like, Jimmy masturbates, and I don't care. Jimmy masturbates, and I don't care.
We try to forget.
Yeah.
You know,
He's doing it again. Look away. Look away.
You know, a couple of weeks back actually, when we did the 10-hour podcast or whatever, when Mike and Goku were here, like we brought up the freaking the old Helvian edit of Down with the Sickness, and and y'all seem to enjoy it again. So I was like, you know, maybe I'll go through some of those edit songs to see if there's any that I particularly find funny, so I can post them in case you might as well. I didn't, but like, I mean, a lot of those were the same jokes, and then and they were also made around the same time back in 2017, and then things transitioned a bit, and now we get the shit like now the shit that gets released are stuff like OVO mode, which is an edit of sicko mode. I think you can figure out the rest, but. I mean, the Drake part of it hits really hard, so I may still post it. But, yeah. And I remember that there was an edit of Animals by Nickelback, and you know it went through the usual freaking thing of making everything sexual and stuff like that, and just straight up saying dick and things like that. All that has changed about the song is that there is no euphemisms anymore. Like even whatever small amount of euphemisms there were in the original lyrics, it's just gone. Because the original song is pretty much just freaking Chet Kroger going, "Hey, my dick."
Nah.
Have y'all not heard Animals by Nickelback?
I've heard it.
All right.
Nope.
It is a song.
Uncultured swine. Can't believe you.
I mean, but the second verse, if I remember correctly, not the second verse, the second, maybe it is the second verse. I don't know. I'm not well versed enough in music yet to actually know these things. But I think the second
What
verse.
the heck's a verse?
A verse is the part between the choruses.
Aha.
So you have the part of the song that is repeated, which is the chorus. Then you have the part that bridges those two, which is the verse. And then there's also bridges that bridge the freaking the chorus and the verse. I don't know how those work yet, but yeah. So I think in the second verse, starts off with Chet Kroger going freaking something about a reveal. Like basically. Oh, actually, I can just look it up on Google. Fuck it, because it's a stupid line. And I want us to laugh at it. Yes, Animals Nickelback chords, all 2 chords. That's probably 4. Yes, it actually is the second verse, I think. So I present to you quality musical writing that is not at all sexual. I mean, I guess that like there's nothing inherently bad about sexual music, but like try to make
it very stupid very quickly.
You cut out.
But it can get very stupid very quickly.
Yeah. So here's the first 3 lines of the second chorus or second verse, I think, of Animals by Nickelback. You're beside me on the seat, got your hand between my knees, and you control how fast we go by just how hard you wanna squeeze.
I wonder what he's talking about.
Then, this is followed by, it's hard to steer when you're breathing in my ear, but I got both hands on the wheel while you got both hands on my gears.
I wonder what he's talking about.
Such a good song. Poetry. Poetry in motion.
Oh fuck, I didn't even... Chet Kroger sings too much like a trumpet for me to actually hear the lyrics, apparently, because these next lines are so... Okay, I'm just gonna read the rest of the fucking verse, because it's bad. it's bad enough. So the rest of the... What's followed by that is... What that is followed by is, by now, no doubt that we were heading south. I guess nobody ever taught her not to speak with a full mouth, because this was it. Like flicking on a switch. It felt so good I almost drove into the ditch. I'm screaming.
I wonder what he's talking about.
I don't know. Must have bought her ice cream.
Yep. Must have been some good ice cream, too.
Yep, they were screaming for ice cream.
Oh, wow. Wow, he even paid for ice cream with sea salt.
Dang! You went all out.
Sea salt is sea salt as a concept has been ruined for me because apparently freaking osmosis, but apparently there's like a well-known furry character with a lot of porn called Sea Salt, and I hear about that character a lot because of course I do. Like half of the fucking furry fandom are asexual and the other half are horny 24/7. Anyway, I don't think I'll ever write lyrics that good. Oh yeah, that is kind of the last thing I wanted to bring up, I guess. So sometimes, you know, I do think about posting some of my lyrics because I would like them to be judged by eyes that are not mine, because they're you know usually in English, so I can subject my family. But like from what I remember, neither of you are lyrics guys to begin with, and
this is true.
Nope.
and some of this like some of this shit like that I write, like I don't know how well it translates to actual text and how like, because you know with music, if you have a good flow, if you have a good delivery, if you have a good melody with some lyrics, then sometimes the lyrics is bad. The lyrics being bad is tolerable, not good, but people can excuse it sometimes.
Yeah.
So you know, it's like it's a thing where I'm like, you know, like when I go over something and I don't know about it, and I'm like, you know, maybe I should freaking send it over to you all, and I'm like, well, even if it is good, how does it translate? Because there are a couple good lines, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I guess not good in the sense that it's of quality, but there like, for example, there's a line in a song that I wrote that's probably gonna get scrapped. Not the line, the entire song. But it's not finished yet, and if it's not finished yet, then it's probably never going to be finished, because I pretty much only write music when I'm fucking depressed. But one of the bars, if I know my music terms correctly, bars is usually rap, but whatever. Rap's music, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just making it more specific, I guess. But bars, if I have my terminology proper, then bars is two lines that rhyme pretty much. Like two lines, it makes a bar, and there is a bar that I think may work if in an actual sung way. But where I'm going through my fucking my folders, not finding the thing I'm looking for, even though I have it pinned. I don't know how.
Intriguing.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. But let me see the exact line, if I can find it. It's not that song, apparently. Good. I don't know. I can't find the actual written thing, but I think I remember it more or less. I kind of wrote it, so I probably should. Oh yeah, here it is.
You'd be surprised.
But yeah, because like usually, once again, when I write music, I'm fucking depressed, and like it's not even a thing. Think of like just being depressed. Like usually when I write music, I just sit down because I either had like either from nothing I got inspired to like basically sometimes bars just pop into my head or like a melody does. And then if it sticks around for long enough, then I actually sit down and write it down because then I guess it should be written down because it has potential, I suppose. I don't fucking know. But freaking a couple of months back, I don't remember when this was proper. Okay, this was at the start this was at the start of the year at the latest. So I was still kind of stuck between freaking like being super depressed and not, I guess. I don't know, like being better. But one line that I freaking, or one bar, I guess, that I made is this, which once again, like I don't know if this translates well without knowing the actual delivery, because delivery makes up for rhythm. Like delivery gives it the rhythm, so it's easier to imagine if you know it. And I'm not gonna. This is a text only thing. People don't need to hear this. But that's basically like this is a summary of how I feel whenever I'm having a fucking episode.
All right, but I'm not a fan of cursing in lyrics usually. I don't have a problem with cursing, but I mean, curse words usually work because they're like very short, curt, ugly words that like break a sentence and call attention, right?
Yeah.
And I think with lyrics, you want something that flows a little better.
I mean, curse words. The way I tend to use them, if I use them, because sometimes I do go out of my way not to, because yeah. Sometimes there shouldn't be like. I wrote the opening to Pink's anime, and I was like, at least the first third of this song tries to go for like a kind of childish thing with how it's supposed to be, or like so, like yeah. So maybe don't say fuck during the part during the fucking the chillins part.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like usually when I freaking when I put curse words into the lyrics, it's well usually I put curse words into the lyrics because they feel at the beat, and I can't find anything freaking anything to replace it that feels the rhythm the same way, and also freaking provides the same fucking context. And basically, basically, most curse words in the writing I make or the songwriting I do is just filler that is to be replaced on a later date.
Yeah.
Because there's one part, there's one part in a song that I wrote where curse words are in the song on purpose. Like there's the one part where it's there to to give emphasis to the sentences being said, and also because it's a fucking screamo part on top of all that. So like, I figured it works from a narrative standpoint in the story, or yeah, because like to me music fucking hell words. Why do I stutter so much? Anyway, so to me music tells a story. Be it a self-contained one or ongoing one, basically freaking chronicling either the life of the writer or whatever the fuck. It depends on the musician, I guess, what they go with. But like to me, music is usually a narrative genre or a narrative medium, rather. Yeah. But that's because I also like examining the lyrics and making like imagining what they could stand for. I guess I don't know. Like I like coming up with my own stories for music and how those words could be interpreted into making sense in this context or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I mean that I don't always do that either, because I mean a lot of the shit I listen to is in Japanese, and while I am learning Japanese, I ain't at the point where I can just go, oh yeah, this is exactly about this, which makes it which makes me appreciate when artists can convey thoughts well enough that it breaks the language barrier.
Yeah.
Because one example I can give is there's this Japanese band called Mach, and the first song I heard from them is pretty much like, I don't exactly know what to call it. Like I guess it's like the first song I heard from them was pretty much just the bottled equivalent, like a perfectly bottled thing of anime despair. Like it's the kind it was the kind of song that you would hear in an anime's mid part, shonen's middle section where the hero is freaking like when the hero lost and everything seems bad and stuff like that. I'm trying not to repeat words because I was taught not to, because it makes me look dumb, even though I am. But yeah, I wish my anxiety about looking dumb was not because
I had an English class that taught me to repeat words in writing because it emphasizes.
I was taught the exact opposite.
Weird.
Yeah, because I mean, partially in Hungarian it may be because there's just a lot of synonyms. So if you repeat a word a lot, then it just seems like you're it seems like you have a small vocabulary, whereas in English there may not be as many synonyms. So I guess it may be better because you can still drive a point home. Yeah.
I think with Americans, it's more about just beating things into people's heads. Like, fucking get it, asshole.
Right.
Maybe. But yeah, like it's like so the like sometimes when I can speak and like I have trouble expressing my thoughts. It's not just because I'm fucking malfunctioning, but also because I'm not only malfunctioning, but also trying to use a large variety of words, because I was taught that if I want to be smart, then I need to look smart, and to look smart, I need to use a lot of words that are very varied. But I do wish that my anxiety about freaking looking dumb was better, because that's pretty much the reason I delete a lot of posts, which I mean y'all have called me out on.
Yeah.
But like yeah, because like I post something and then I go, oh, but is that a good like conversation starter, or does that contribute to the conversation, or does that make me look too dumb? And then I start fucking freaking out about it, and then I have to delete it. And I'm trying to work on it, but it doesn't like it's not really coming along.
Whereas I will just all of a sudden drop a video about Barack Obama talking about the chaos crystals.
Yeah. I mean, Mike said I think it was.
I've got one right here.
I think it was last month or the month before that Mike posted that if he has to listen to Rick Astley again, like one more time, he'll fucking kill himself or something like that. And I just posted Bakamitai. I posted a thing where someone edited Rick Astley to be singing Bakamitai. And I was like, that's funny, but Mike will not get that joke. And it made me
At the same time, Mike's the kind of guy who would be amused by you pulling that on him.
And then I started freaking out about, oh well, what if what if the joke isn't funny? Because I'm a fucking clown, I guess. I don't know.
I guarantee what you'd get is, like, at some point one of us is going to get Mike to play Yakuza, because Mike would love Yakuza. Yakuza's right up his alley.
Yeah.
So if we did get, he'd of course have to start with Yakuza 0. Everyone starts with Yakuza 0 now. And if we did introduce him to Yakuza 0, then that would mean he'd just come back to you, Eddie, like, fuck, I get it, I get it. So that's what that was.
Yeah. And I do that a lot. I do that a lot with a lot of things that I don't post. Like one of the reasons that now while I'm fucking talking about it, I need to go and send Pink those like I promised Pink that I'd send him like videos about this German bootleg cartoon company like a month ago, or maybe even 2 at this point, and I keep fucking forgetting because I don't know if he'd like it. And even though he said that he doesn't fucking give a shit, like because the videos that are on YouTube, because most of those movies are very kind of rare. Most of the videos about those movies are reviews, and there's a certain guy that I can send Pink a freaking playlist from, where he reviews most of their movies, but I don't know if Pink would like that guy's videos. But Pink has said to send him the link anyway, so I'm gonna do that now. But I remember. Anyway. So yeah. Like, yeah, I wish that it wasn't freaking bad enough that there you go, Pink.
Well, thank you.
That may be the link to the whole playlist. If not, then you can find out the guy's channel, I guess.
Right. He's got his channel name in the title there, I think. Phyllis?
I can check. Yeah. Phyllis.
All right.
Phyllis means
I can already tell by the thumbnail that this is gonna be a good time.
The guy's named Phyllis because his real name is Phelan Porches.
Oh, that Phyllis. Oh, I actually know that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know him, know him personally, but yes, I know that.
Yeah, we went to high school together.
Yeah. Despite the guy's like obviously like 20 years older than me.
He's like
come back a few grades.
He's like Snoop Dogg in freaking in Young, Wild and Free.
He was the guy. Phyllis was the guy that came out about all the guy with the glasses stuff, wasn't he?
One of them, yeah. Phyllis left kind of early on. Like he was one of the first people to leave on their own because Doug made him do all of the special effects on The Boldly Flee, and then didn't pay him, and then called his special effects shit. And then there was also things going on in the background that Phyllis didn't like. So both him and his girlfriend left that guy with the glasses around the same time, and they've been doing and they've been doing their reviews since. And yeah, they do kind of still do some of the old like, you know, that guy with the glasses kind of review stuff that some people dislike. I'm nostalgic for it because I was a little kid when those things were getting big. So like I'm fine with it, but that's what I was saying, that Pink might not like it, because a lot of the earlier videos definitely have more skits than people would like in the modern times, I think. But he does stop doing them through the years as he reviews the later movies and stuff like that, because he doesn't like doing them either. Yeah. So yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah, I was finishing up on my week after an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like yeah, I wish that my anxiety wasn't my social anxiety wasn't that bad, that freaking I just post something and then I need to remove it, because I probably would post more things, like, you know, I could speak again with y'all outside of these recordings, but sometimes I try to, and then freaking anxiety happens. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, and yeah, that is something with that uni review, is that like I'm like at earliest, I'm gonna be releasing it that next year. But I don't know. Like, you know, a part of me wants to finish it and put it up like that and whatever, because, or at least I want to get that video to a finished state so I can judge whether I think it can work or not. But like, at the same time, even if I think it can work, like a part of me is scared that, just, you know, like it, that I was gone for like 2 years. Nearly. Well, I definitely slowed down for 2 years in the early years of this channel. Then I was gone for a full fucking year, and then I posted a review freaking last month or something like that. And then like announced that I'm gonna be leaving for another half a year. And then after all of those fucking breaks, I come back and I just have a persona now for some reason. Like, you know.
Your channel, no one can take it from you except for that scammer who got the spiffing break.
Well, yeah. It is my channel, but like, you know, like I'm scared of the public reception, I guess. Which I shouldn't be. That's the thing, though, because like last year, very rarely, so sometimes people post under my videos, and I can actually discuss things with them about those games. And just last year, there was a person who posted a comment under my Yukiden review. And funnily enough, that person was a furry, and still is. So, like, you know, technically, I should be somewhat safe, because weebs usually, like, okay, not usually, but furries usually are weebs. Because one of them kind of leads into the other, I suppose.
Yep.
So like with that stuff, I should be fine. At the same time, like, you know, like I'm a part of me just expecting that I'm gonna post that video, and then freaking it's just gonna be like, I don't know, like maybe I like to 500 dislikes and then just full of fucking comments that are just like telling me to die. Which I'm gonna like. Which, because of how I have my channel set up, I'm gonna have to actually read through all of them to approve of them. And
I can just let my comment sections be a gigantic slough of disgusting revelry.
I mean, I started moderating my comment section like that just because of the spam bots that started getting big on YouTube recently. So.
Oh.
Like,
I still have comment notifications set on, so if I just get like, oh, someone commented, hey, we should do a collab, in which case I just delete.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my thing is that it's kind of like that too, because like I think I still get told when people comment on my main channel, but you know, on times usually people do, but like when someone comments under one of this channel's videos or my channel's videos, then I need to go into freaking under comments, and then I read through it, and if it seems like an actual person, I approve of it, despite it, like regardless of what it says. There is that comment under my Sengoku Basura 1 review that calls me an N-word, and I had to approve of that comment because I was just like, fuck it, I'll throw a guy to the wolves. It's not my problem that he uses slurs.
That one's just too funny because you're a white guy.
I'm not even white. Well, I'm half white. I'm closer to white than I am to black. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm a gypsy, so.
Which is Asian, which is still not black.
Yeah. So yeah. but like I left that comment up because, like, you know, I don't approve of their wording. But I also don't see myself as like a freaking like it isn't in. I am not in a position that I can properly judge whether someone is using words like that properly or not, or, like, you know. Basically, I am saying it is not my fault that people are fucking racist. Call them out, and I'll delete them. But I need other people to tell me to fucking delete them, because hey, I don't want. Yeah.
Next time you and Mike are in the same recording, you need to mention that comment to him.
I think I have. No. Goku was there when I brought it up the first time.
Yeah. Because he would find that hilarious.
I mean, I thought it was funny too. But hey, like us fucking like
It's a dumb comment, which he already inherently finds hilarious. But it's also someone using the N word, which he finds hilarious.
like us racist as that guy may have been trying to be at least. Like I at least appreciate that it wasn't a hard R. It could have been worse. I would appreciate it even more if they stopped, but you know. But yeah, like that's my thing. Cause like, you know, I don't do well with power. Like it's not even that I don't do well with power. Cause like if I don't know how well I do with power because I don't really make decisions. I am too submissive to be able to make decisions like that. So if someone if I am in power regarding something, and then there's someone I trust tells me something that I will probably do it. And that's my thing with it is that like I don't know how much I can moderate shit like that before seeming like a dictator.
Just to establish some basic objective standards and go from there.
Yeah, and then that's basically
And the thing is, like, people don't really treat YouTube comment sections like forums. People aren't going to be worried that much about censorship unless it's explicitly you're just censoring critique of you. You know.
Yeah, which is I think that's why I
like if you're just deleting posts of people who are flaming or trolling, I don't think anybody's gonna even notice, let alone care. You know.
Yeah. I think that's actually why I left the comment up because that's the one negative comment I've gotten in my 10 years being on this fucking thing. But yeah, like I think
if I know me, I would have not only left that comment up, but also commented something smart ass underneath it, like, "Wow, how long did it take you to come up with that one?"
Like it's genuinely going to be my 10-year anniversary in December of being on YouTube. And then most of the time it's fucking deleted, or I've been inactive. Because like I was active from 2013 until now, but I did a whole channel restructure in 2016 where I deleted all of my fucking videos because they sucked. and that's when I started doing the reviews. And the reviews went strong for a year. And then we started this channel back up, and I was trying to get this thing rolling again. While still kind of making reviews, and then this thing started rolling a bit more. I got writer's block. Writer's block. Oh whoa, fucking hell. So yeah. But yeah, I got the writer's block, and that's only going away now. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
And even now, I don't know, like. That's the thing with getting back into the writing reviews again. It's just like I'm trying to make jokes and I don't know if they're funny, and that scares me because like back in the old days I just wrote 80 to 90% serious scripts, and then I just left it at that. Like there are maybe a couple of throwaway jokes. There was one line that a guy pointed out as being a joke to me, which surprised me because I mean it was a funny delivery. He was right. It is a good joke. I just didn't make it on purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that, and then to try to get myself back into actually doing reviews and trying to make it more fun for me, and making it more fun for me means more stupid jokes, and I just don't know if they're funny enough. But yeah, like all of these combined are the reasons why I'm like I'm gonna spend like a fucking month making this uni review, and then I'm gonna send it to y'all, and you can tell me if it's as bad as I think it may be. Pretty much. Anyway, that's been my week. So W.
Oh. A whole lot of things I can't remember or just weren't meaningful, so I'll get it down to just the two things that I think were significant, which were, for one, I reinstalled Fallout New Vegas using a whole 10 of my very, very precious gigabytes. There we go. Gigabytes, which I only get 50 of those per month. So thanks, New Vegas, because Fallout New Vegas isn't still Fallout New Vegas. So I launched the game. All right, it's launched. All right. New game. Crash.
Nice.
Oh, fuck. Huh? So I was like, okay, let's verify game files, huh? Okay, game files verified. Start the game. Didn't even load up the main menu. Okay, let's try that again. Start up again. Okay, we got to the main menu this time. New game. Crash. What the fuck?
Honestly.
I haven't looked into it too much, but it might just be something like it's apparently something like it just doesn't like my CPU or something like that.
Nice.
Oh no.
Alternatively, the game might just be so ancient. Well, not ancient, but the game's only like 10 years old, but Obsidian were operating on a very low budget and a very limited time scale, and Bethesda does not care about any games that are older than now. So the game may honestly just like say no to the existence of my GPU.
Cool.
We do not recognize this GPU. It does not actually exist, and therefore we do not exist anymore. Goodbye.
You know, I played Fallout 3 on PC once. It ran at 5 frames a second, but it did not crash somehow. And no, well, okay, it did crash. When I pressed exit, the game crashed.
Bethesda has a lot.
Yeah.
Bethesda has a lot of problems, but they are fucking wizards of making the game actually run properly.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Now that I'm looking at it, there's still some old mod files that are here. Weird. Okay, let's see if those are causing a problem. Yeah, I'll do some surgery while talking here.
All right. So W, did you hear? I guess to hold up the podcast even more. Did you hear about the Strive conversion mod someone is making?
The what conversion mod?
Strive. So someone's started modding Strive on the PC so that its mechanics more closely resemble XX.
That's strange, but okay, interesting.
And
there's not enough fighting game modding, and I think that's partly because Japanese developers are infamously a lot more antsy about that kind of thing. But still,
yeah. Strive has a large modding scene. There's already like things that turn like there's what did I see? There's like Bullet was made into Joanna was made into Bullet. I think there's Doge Chip and stuff like that. There's a lot of mods for Guilty Gear Strive. But
I did see Doge Chip, yes.
But I'm interested in this one because it can be used in online as well.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. So it may be like
going to a match against someone who's playing vanilla Strive and you're just like doing all crazy XX shit on them.
No, I think that it turns off. That's how it usually is with stuff like that.
Yeah, I would hope.
Like I don't remember what the mod is called, but I actually have a Central Fiction mod. Let me check. Because if you remember, last time we played Central Fiction, it didn't run pretty much. So to try and mitigate that a bit, I got a mod that improves it so that you can actually set video quality under 720p and stuff like that, which should. Yeah, it's just called Baseball Central Fiction Improvement Mod. So yeah. But yeah, I got that to be able to set the game down, and that also has stuff like custom color palettes and shit like that. And I think it only works. I think it works regardless of the other, if the other person has the mod as well. But I think it works better because then they can see your colors and shit. You can also mod in money to your stuff because who gives a fuck?
All right. So while I was digging around in the files, I found out that on the PC version of Fallout New Vegas, there's just straight up a song menu. Like there's just straight up a song folder that you go inside, and it's just MP3s of all the songs that are in the game.
Ah, all right. So
You're saying I can change those?
yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I am clicking on Johnny Guitar, left clicking on Johnny Guitar. I am right clicking on Johnny Guitar. I am left clicking on delete.
No. Before you do that,
Too late.
you should have freaking
I
like
was literally doing it as I was saying it.
you should have taken a song, another song, and just rename like freaking copy the way the naming scheme works, and then just freaking put it in there. Because I doubt that the game will actually like I doubt the game will recognize so like other song files with their proper name. But if you rename them the exact same way that their files were named, then it will actually show up in the game. Words.
Yeah, that's probably right, because they're all labeled MUS underscore and then the name of the song with underscores in the places of spaces.
Yeah, then.
With that said, I went ahead and hit undo because I remembered. All right, isn't there a specific thing where like Mr. Vegas will say, "All right, now it's time for a song called Johnny Guitar," and I was like, "Oh wait, game might fucking crash if it looks for Johnny Guitar and can't find it."
Yeah, so
If this game wasn't made by Obsidian on a limited budget, I would say that probably won't happen. But this was made by Obsidian on a limited budget and time.
So now what you do is you take the worst music that you can muster, you rename them to the in-game music that you don't like, and then okay, like Mr. New Vegas goes and here's Johnny Guitar is just a bass boosted fart. No, it's fart with reverb.
For some reason, you can just hear Marcus Garvey in the background, Preston Garvey in the background. Why is the soundtracks to Fallout 1 and 2 in the files?
Why not?
What the fuck?
That is strange.
What? Yeah, I'm finding some weird stuff in the music stuff.
Nice.
There's one that's labeled old, and it's music from Fallout 3.
That's probably how they got it. Oh no! You're probably seeing how Obsidian you're probably seeing Obsidian's internal freaking way they discern the files on their like servers or something. But I don't know why those would get shipped with the game.
Weirder things have been shipped with the game, dude. Okay, yeah. If anyone wants specifically the music that plays when you're at a Caesar's Legion camp, I found that. Or Kaisar's Legion, excuse me.
But
I'm gonna swap that out for some Beyonce.
I figured out the DNG stands for dungeon and LOC stands for location. I'm working here.
It is truly as Sinatra said. Life is dull. It's nothing but one big lol. LOL.
It should not be this easy for me to just get into the files and find things.
It's an old game, dude. Remember how I fixed Mortal Kombat 9 to actually run on my PC again? There's just a text file. That's the config file, and you open it up with a normal text editing software, and you type in the things that you want to change.
I actually think that's a good feature that more games should do nowadays.
It is a good feature, but it's around the same amount of security as just having the MP3s in folders like that. And I mean that's having the MP3s in folders is usually how that every game does it, but like encryption, people encrypt shit now.
Yeah, but I mean. Yeah, you're right. It's just I think of like how with Mortal Kombat 9 you had so much trouble, and like you wouldn't have been able to fix it if not for the config file.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, the two most ridiculous ones will always be Total War, like all the old Total War games, making it where you just went into the config files and you could just turn on all the locked and non-playable factions. Like you're not supposed to be able to play as the Pope in Total War Medieval 2. but you can just go into the .config files, and there is just a Pope equals false. Change it to true. Oh, now you can play as the Pope. And the most egregious one. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
The most egregious one is Street Fighter Cross Tekken on PC, where there is just a fucking .txt file that you can just go in and turn on all the DLC characters.
Ah, nice.
That's never gonna happen again.
I wish we could get freaking cross Tekken, but the issue with that is that it games with Windows Live.
Games for Windows Live is shut down.
Yeah.
So, what you got to do there, I've actually got a working copy of Cross Tekken. You've got to specifically go and download a mod, because, like, I think the game just outright won't work anymore unless you download that mod, because it was reliant on games before. Yeah, something like that. So, and it was buggy as fuck to begin with, so there's a specific patch, a fan patch someone has made, the PC version of Cross Tekken, which you just got to go and download. But once you do, it'll be fine. The crazy thing is, the guy who made that fan patch even went to the lengths of including the PlayStation exclusive characters, so you can play as the little cat guy and Cole McGrath.
Ah, nice. But yeah, like Cross Tekken is a game that I would like to play for the channel, but my PC can't run it, and games with Windows Live exists. So we could.
Well, the problem is that it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Games with Windows Live existed, but I just got the freaking, like, it hit me. Since you have a working copy of Cross Tekken, like Cross Tekken came out long ago enough, it would have used all the freaking Capcom delay-based netcode. We can just fucking share the game on Steam, and it's the same experience. So
yeah,
like once you have yeah,
you wouldn't be able to get any practice time in on your own, but yeah. What I'll say is the Tekken characters, I didn't put too much time in with the Tekken characters. I didn't put too much time in with the game altogether. But the Tekken characters just seemed kind of bizarre. Because, like, they're just all, like, they're almost all like Gin, you know, where they're just dudes throwing different variations of punch and kick, you know?
Yeah.
Which is what you'd expect, because there aren't superpowers in Tekken outside of stuff like Devil Kazuya, but it's still bizarre when you throw them against the average guy in Street Fighter, where, like, in Street Fighter, a character not having superpowers makes them the exception, you know?
Yeah, and then there's Steve Fox, whose dick is too big,
yes.
So now he can throw fireballs.
Yeah. Yeah, Lei Wulong is still there. Lei Wulong, if memory serves, they were actually pretty accurate in making his moveset way too convoluted and fucked up.
Nice. But yeah, like...
The other game...
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to transition to something else, so yeah. Continue, or finish, or whatever.
I guess I'll just say the last thing I did for my week, then?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Unless there's something you want to get out of the way right now.
I mean, no, if I remember it, we can just come back to that, so...
Go ahead and hit it now, because it's going to be very easy for me to remember what I'm talking about.
Alright. Because I was just going to say that there are a couple of games that we could do like that, because Pink has his modded 2K19. We could play even that, because I'm pretty sure freaking modding your game doesn't turn off Steam's share play.
Yeah, do I have 2K19 on PC?
Yes.
No, I don't.
No.
I have 2K17 on PC, which is considerably worse.
But yeah, Pink has his modded 2K19, and we could, like, you can invite up to, like, I think 4 people to play in share play and on PC. So, like, we could do freaking, like, we could do stuff with wrestling games. There's a lot of fighting games that we could do shit with. I mean, I have Guilty Gear Isuka. Not Isuka. Which one is it? Is it Isuka? Give me a sec. I'm checking.
There's Isuka. There's Slash, and there's.
It is Isuka. It is Isuka. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so you bought me Isuka W, and it does have up to 4 players, so we could do a video on that. But the thing is, like, I could be on stick if I wanted to, but the 2 of you definitely would need to be on keyboard. So that's the issue with Isuka. And then,
I've got I've got Fight of Gods, Fighting EX Layer. Me and Pink both have Rivals of Aether, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Skullgirls, though Skullgirls I'd rather wait until there's a sale just so we can get the rollback, and I don't think that's one that would be too hard on your computer.
Yeah, Schoolgirls and Them's Fighting Cards, I think, or neither are too like intensive on anything for my PC to not be able to run it, so that can wait.
Yeah. So really, the only ones on PC that like we'd want to do that for, I guess, would be Fight of Gods and Fighting EX Layer.
Yeah.
Which I'd be very interested to see your take on Fighting EX Layer, because I think you'd either love it or hate it.
I mean, it does have a lot of Gogi.
It has much Golgi, but the Golgi adds to it. Do not doubt the power of Golgi. Think you understand the Golgi yet?
No, he's a coward.
Oh, what is a Gogi?
It's a Gogi.
Okay, so memes aside, the Golgi system is something that Fighting EX Layer, okay. Fighting EX Layer is the whole thing unto itself. It's a thing made by the guy who made the original Street Fighter 1. Oh, not Street Fighter 1. He had nothing to do with Street Fighter 1. He was one of the 3 guys who did Street Fighter 2. He's one of the 3 guys who did that. And I think they're all named Akira for some reason. But the thing with Fighting EX Layer is that they came up with a system. They wanted to make it where it was just more obviously something that added competitive nuance to the fighting game that anyone could instantly understand. So they added the Golgi system. And the Golgi system is where there are a selection of like 15 different card decks, which are a selection of like 5 different cards, which are pretty much perks. They're pretty much perks, which have to be unlocked conditionally. Some of the perks have lesser buffs, but they're easier to unlock. Like, one of them is, like, you get longer range on your moves. And in order to get that Gogi card to activate, all you have to do is just keep the opponent close to you for about 5 seconds, or something like that, right?
Right.
Some of the crazier ones are, like, double damage for all throws if you connect 3 throws in one match.
What the heck?
Double range for all throws if you like get a throw in a specific condition. One of them was like become invisible if you do something. I don't even remember. Some of them are like nonsense that just entirely change the game. Like one of them fundamentally changes the combo mechanics to make it more like Marvel vs. Capcom. Because, like, by default, it's kind of like Street Fighter with a bit more ability to just do normals into normals.
Yeah, Street Fighter EX.
Yeah.
That's how Street Fighter EX played, more or less. I mean, okay, Street Fighter EX is... but... Like, Street Fighter EX is that, like, being able to do normals into normals easier, and then also, like, you have a lot easier time canceling specials, and super canceling is a thing.
Yes, and there was also like a super combo mode you could turn on as well that made it much easier to juggle.
But that was I think that may be on the EX3 only thing. I forget.
Yeah, something like that. Which Fighting EX Layer pretty well behaves as if it's on by default. Now, the really confusing thing to me always about Street Fighter EX is the fact that each of the entries wound up taking out characters.
I played 1 and 2. Well, I played 1 and I played freaking 2 EX Plus or something like that.
What I know is that EX1 had Sagat, EX2 and EX3 did not have Sagat, or something like that.
EX3 did have Sagat.
Yes, Sagat, Sakura was only like an EX2. Akuma was only an EX2. Just weird shit like that.
Yeah, I definitely put more time into EX2 just because it had Akuma. It also had Doctrine Dark and Crackerjack, the best characters.
I love Crackerjack and Fighting EX Layer. He's awesome.
I unironically like both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Doctrine Dark was my new character main for EX2.
I would not say that Cracker Jack should be added to regular Street Fighter. Like, there are several Fighting EX layer characters that I'm like, yeah, this guy should be built in regular Street Fighter.
Garuda.
Cracker Jack, I would not say so, because Cracker Jack is straight up just Balrog with a command grab.
Yeah, I don't remember much about Cracker Jack. All I remember is that he had a baseball bat. So
He does have a baseball bat, yeah, which he can use to reflect projectiles, Faust style.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to wrap things up pretty soon on my end, or else I shall shit my pants.
That's not good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be ideal if I'd never recover.
You would forever be known as the member. Fuck. Bloody hell. So yeah, you would always be the member of the group who shot himself live on air.
I'd have to be like Jeff from Achievement Hunter and make it my gimmick.
Yeah. Be like
So,
yeah.
go ahead and wrap up your joke.
No, I was gonna say be like freaking Star, who is a streamer that's one of German's friends. And whenever German fucks something up, Star is like, "Wow, you really suck. I shit myself on stream, and you're somehow worse." I don't know how they're friends. Anyway. Yeah?
So, the last really noteworthy thing I did this... Oh, I guess I did... I guess I did two more noteworthy things. I'll try not to spend too much time on them. I finished reading The Hobbit for the first time since I was like 10 years old. It's a good book. It's a pretty good book. The movie sucked.
Yeah.
The book was better than I remember. I remember not being terribly impressed with it when I was younger, but I liked it quite a bit as an adult. It is quite a bit of fun. What was I going to say? I forgot that Bilbo turns into quite the badass quite a bit earlier in the book. I honestly kind of remember Bilbo. My memory was like Bilbo was pretty much just a wet sock who was just kind of there observing events outside of a couple things like taking the ring from Gollum. Right. That is not how the book goes. Like, for the entire latter part of the adventure, Bilbo is pretty well just carrying the dwarfs on his back. I also, for some reason, thought that Bilbo missed out on the entirety of the Battle of the Five Armies. He does not. He misses out on the very end when the cavalry arrives because he gets knocked out by the rocks. But he's there for the majority of the battle. He's there for the hard part. He's there for when they're getting their asses kicked. And it's very strange because Lord of the Rings is like, yo, war sucks and people get PTSD. But like Bilbo, after the Battle of the Five Armies, like he's not like, yeah, I love killing people, but he does walk home to the Shire with a bit of like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking hero. I like that they even have it at one point where like, they say no one in the Shire ever treated Bilbo like he was acceptable ever again, and Bilbo did not mind. And I'm very curious to start reading through the Lord of the Rings trilogy of books themselves, because I'm very interested to see how Bilbo gets treated in the early parts of that book, because the way Hobbit leaves Bilbo, like they say, Bilbo then spent the rest of his days sitting around the village, smoking his pipe and talking about his old adventures with just any young impressionable kids would be around, while the other hobbits are like, oh, don't be telling the kids stuff that they might learn something bad from. And I just imagine Bilbo sitting around like, hey, yeah, I once killed 20 giant spiders, skinned them, wore their clothes, and I went and killed a dragon. And a bunch of elves came, a bunch of orcs. The elves thought I was cool, so we beat up the orcs together. I got really rich off the dragon stuff, and I came home. Another thing I found odd, Thor and Oakenshield, the leader of the dwarfs, the movies go out of the way to like really emphasize him. Like Thor, as the movies go on, it almost starts to feel like Thorin is the main character and not Bilbo, you know?
Right.
The books, that is not the case. Thorin is just kind of a useless asshole who keeps people strung along by his charisma for a lot of the story, and by the very end, he becomes, Mr. Greedy Asshole. The only
Dutch.
really. Yeah, I should mention I also decided to start a new Red Dead 2 playthrough just for laughs, and I noticed, like, holy shit, has Thorin always just been Dutch? Bilbo, I got a plan. We're gonna go to the Lonely Mountain. There are gonna be mangoes and gold.
We're gonna go to Minas Tirith. He's gonna have all of the mangoes.
Oh yeah, there we go. Dutch goes in the opposite direction of where he's supposed to go, so Thorin goes south for some reason.
Yeah. I have no clue about the geography of Lord of the Rings. All I remember all I know about Lord of the Rings is from the games, which I mean, that's pretty much just the movies, but still, I don't remember a lot.
Well, they don't ever show a map in the movies, so. But yeah, Bilbo's. Damn it, Thorin, we're supposed to be going east, not south. I got a plan, Bilbo. Don't doubt me. What I will say is Thorin gets a much better moment. Thorin gets a much better moment of like just a memory of what he could have been or what he used to be or what have you. Because in the books they describe like when the Battle of the Five Armies is going on and Thorin just charges out from under the mountain. They just explicitly say, and Thorin was such a cool badass killing so many orcs that even a lot of the elves were like, oh, I'm joining up with that guy. Even though the king of the elves was like, no, please don't. Thorin is so cool, he breaks racial boundaries. I guess I could talk about a little bit. I've played through Chapter 1 of Red Dead 2. Other than that, I'm actually I want to take my time and just enjoy myself here and just do whatever the fuck I feel like, because I didn't do a whole lot of hunting or fishing on my first playthrough. I was trying to rush through to get to the end because I was getting kind of sick of the plot dragging on, and now that I already know everything that's going on and everything, it's just kind of like, yeah, do it whenever I want to. With that said, you still kind of have an inclination to rush through Chapter 2, not only because several of the NPCs are like locked behind being strung up by the Pinkertons, but also because there's several mechanics that are locked for that. Like, grooming your fucking horse. That's pretty important, as it turns out.
What?
Yeah.
Because the horse dies easier, I think, if you don't groom it.
His health just starts to decline. Yeah, his health core. The big thing that's locked behind story missions. Fences, where you can sell, like, your loot, like jewelry and stuff that you loot. Jewelry is a big source of a lot of money in Red Dead 2. And if you know where to find the hidden gold bars, those are also a big source of money. And you can only get the money from those by selling them to a fence. And you can only unlock the ability to sell things to fences by doing that mission with Hosea where he introduces you to the fence.
I don't think I ever used a fence in that game.
Ah, so you were dirt poor is what you're telling me.
No, I had $2,000 at the end of the game.
Yeah, you make a lot of money off heists in that game.
I had $2,000 at the end of the game, like around the time
when at the end is Arthur or at the end is John?
At the end is Arthur. That's what I was going to say. Like I had $2,000 at the end of the game as Arthur. At the same time, just the mission before that, because I didn't know Arthur would be dead already. Just the mission before that, I bought a horse for $9,000, so I think I had 12,000.
Well, it doesn't really matter because Arthur can't take it with him. John starts off dirt poor regardless of how wealthy Arthur was.
Yeah.
But there is a trick that a lot of people do. So there is a guy out in the swamp who can knock Arthur out and chain him up, and it's implied that he rapes him. And him and like one other encounter, I think, Arthur gets mugged and the money will be kept in a chest. And there's an exploit people figured out where they can keep their money from Arthur by deliberately going and getting Arthur robbed, then doing the final mission as him, then coming back fucking 10 years later to the same place as John.
Nice.
And looting the fucking chest.
I love it.
You know, I would have been a lot less mad about your money not carrying over to John. Well, it's not even the money. I would have been a lot less mad about Arthur's death if I didn't buy that fucking horse before the last mission as Arthur, because it fucking dies.
You must have seen the writing on the wall.
Well, no, I figured that Arthur would die. I didn't think the horse would die.
To me, it would seem weird, John taking Arthur's horse, you know?
I don't know. Like I feel like, you know, I figured they'd keep it around. It would be like, you know, one of the last keepsakes John has of Arthur.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it's again, though, one of those things of Red Dead 2 trying to be a simulation, because I remember in Red Dead 1, you didn't buy horses, you bought horse steeds. And what you would do is you would just go into your inventory and use the horse steed, and it would summon a horse of that type to you, regardless of how many of that horse you had previously gotten killed.
Oh.
So, like, as John, like, you could just, like, oh shit, my horse died, my super expensive war horse. And he just fishes into his bag and pulls out a paper and wiggles it in the air, and a new one appears.
That's called insurance.
But like, you know, like I kept good freaking care of all of my horses. I think I had all of them. Like maybe I sold one horse overall that I ever bought, and all of them were in the garage. That's the thing. John could kick any of the horses aside from the $9,000 horse, the horses I just bought. Any of the horses that Arthur had.
Are we arguing in terms of like logic within the universe, or just you wanting John to collect Arthur's horses? Because I don't think John could just go up to the stable and be like, "Hey, yeah, you know that blonde guy, Arthur? I'm his friend. He's dead. He said give me all his horses."
I went to the stables. I went to the stables as John, and if my memory is not failing me, which it could be, but if my memory is not failing me, then as John, I could access the same stables. By which I mean, when I went to the stables, it still had the same horses that Arthur had.
Oh.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, then maybe I'm misremembering things.
How long does a horse live for?
That's a good question.
Yeah, good question. Depends on when it breaks its legs, I guess.
I mean, speaking in terms of like in-universe logic, why would the stables keep those 3 horses for like 9 years? You know?
25 to 30 years.
I mean, even if they don't die of old age, why would the stable be like, well, I'm sure he'll come back eventually?
Right.
Eventually, it's just playing the sad, like, dog waiting for Fry thing from Futurama.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is crazy to think about, like, John. Whenever you run into the old gang members as John in the epilogue in the Victory Lap, like, John has to explain to all of them, oh yeah, Arthur died. So it's like, oh, for like a decade, guys like Uncle thought Arthur was still around and kicking, and they just didn't run into him. That sucks. I mean, Arthur was kind of a douche, but I mean... Oh, man. What was I going to say? Oh, I will say, it's funny being a dick in Red Dead 2. Because, like, when people play these games, like GTA, what they do is they just whip out a machine gun. They just open fire on the sidewalk and just start shooting people. That's boring. I don't like that, for several reasons. But you know what I think is awesome? Arthur just going down the street and slinging insults at everyone he sees like a complete maniac. and they just run up to clobber him in the middle of the street. I think there's one of the ones like you'll get is like if Arthur will tell like just a regular guy on the street like, you know, you should be ashamed of yourself. And the guy just says, it's fighting time, and runs up and punches Arthur in the jaw. just announcing it's fighting time.
I think that may be a Mortal Kombat reference.
Just imagining some cowboy fatality.
But I mean, do you not remember the old more MK cartoon, Sonya's catchphrase?
It's combat time or something like that?
Yeah.
No, I don't really. Outside of like maybe I probably saw Matt reference it, Matt Muscles, because that guy has an obsession with shitty 90s video game cartoons.
I watched that cartoon because it once the anime channel stopped airing anime, one of the other channels, Channel 6 I guess technically, picked up Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Z, and that cartoon's freaking broadcast rights. So for a bit I watched Dragon Ball Z, which were reruns that weren't completed because they used the old dubs from when it got fucking banned in the country. But if every time before Dragon Ball they would play that Mortal Kombat cartoon, so I watched a couple episodes of that too. It was bad.
You know it's gotta be rough when you're like, I want to go back to Dragon Ball GT.
Oh no, not GT. I've already seen GT by that point because the anime channel also broadcasted GT beforehand. No, it was Z that they broadcasted after it.
Oh, okay. What was it? I guess I
Red
should
Dead.
also.
You're talking about Red Dead.
Too much. I don't know if I got too much more to say about Red Dead. I will say I'm having a lot of fun finding out just how much you can dick around in missions and the NPCs. Like you won't fail the mission. Like it seems like Rockstar only set up failure conditions for like actually playing the game smart. But if you just dick around like an asshole, like that mission where you go with Jose and Jose is like, "All right, go into the stable and buy yourself a new horse." And then after I did that, I just immediately dismounted the horse and started just running around the town like a maniac, picking fights. While Hosea is just sitting on his horse watching me and is like, "Hey, Arthur, shouldn't we get going at some point?" And it's just like he's saying that as Arthur is like throwing down hardcore in the middle of the road with three guys. Or just running around on the rooftops, parkouring from roof to roof. And Hosea is just standing there staring at him.
I can go, Hosea. I need to kill the Templars.
Yeah. Oh my god, Arthur's having a mental break again.
It's just a bleeding
My
effect.
descendant. The Apple of Eden. My god, it's with the Blackwater money.
I need to find the Apple of Eden. I need to send it to Amualim before they find. Yeah.
Addy, how would you have reacted if you're going through the chapter 6, like the later part of the game, like normal, and around the top, like you get to the nearing the final parts of the game, and Arthur and Rains Fall are going on a walk, and Rains Fall just says, like, what is it? Nothing is nothing.
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
They don't even
and
really
you
use the
notice that
creed.
Rains Fall is missing his ring finger on his left hand.
Rains Fall.
I know they stopped doing that. Shut up.
Yeah. And they don't even really use nothing is true, everything is permitted. I mean, they use it is the creed, but at the same time, that's not the actual creed that they sign up with. The creed they sign up with is we work in the dark to serve the light. I think, yeah.
Oh, that's lamer.
I like it better. I mean, okay, nothing is true, everything is permitted. Permitted is a better philosophical thing. We work in the dark to serve the light is a good mission statement.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Imagine if you're doing the missions where you like run into the general and the general's just being an asshole, and like Rangefall just assassin staffs.
I mean, W, if you remember, when I played through Red Dead myself, one of the first things I said was, this game is a better Assassin's Creed game than Odyssey, so it is now. Like I've just been considering, like, as much as I fucking shit on Red Dead because of its bad writing, I mean that's just a Ubisoft thing, really. But which I know it's Rockstar, but like I'm making the joke. But I genuinely would consider Red Dead an Assassin's Creed game before I do it with Odyssey. Like, it's closer to classic Assassin's Creed than Odyssey is to me.
Say, Rangefall, you mentioned your great-great-grandpa before. What was his name? Rotanea Catan, but most people just called him Connor. Um, all right. Enough goofery. Again, I think that they should have spent much more of the early game making Dutch a sympathetic character so they can tear him apart later in the game. I think they start with Dutch already, like, too cracked, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be much more of a tragedy if it wasn't clear from the beginning that Arthur and Hosea were the only things keeping Dutch from going nuts. And if Dutch wasn't already using manipulative language, you know?
Yeah.
With that said, hey, Red Dead 2. And I am trying to finally beat Half-Life 1. I've been playing Half-Life 1 for years, by which I mean every year it's a tradition that I start Half-Life 1, get to on a rail, and stop. Well, not on a rail. Okay, I think you're not going to know this, but Addy, do you know the part in Half-Life 1 where you have the big-ass blue monster and you need to fry him with electricity?
Yes.
Why haven't I played this game?
Not off the top of my head, but I do know the enemy you're talking about, yes.
I do not believe that you know Half-Life 1.
I've never played it.
Okay, there we go.
I mean, neither have I. I've just watched a lot of videos on it.
Yeah, I know. I know. I figured you knew Half-Life 1 through, like, you'd mentioned some specific things, and of course the scientists.
I mean, I don't even know Kleiner from Half-Life. I know Kleiner from Gmod.
With the fucking physics gun penis?
No, I used to watch a lot of videos where like basically Kleiner was into the King of Random. So yeah, because it was the style at the time.
Kleiner is the default player model, so new players who just join and wreck the world up are going to come in as Kleiner, yeah. I always think of the scientists from Half-Life 1 who are very mimetic, not only for their bad AI, but also for their bizarre voice acting. And for their very
Why
bizarre
do we have to wear
voice
these ridiculous ties?
Yeah, and he's saying that like in a lab that's on fire, and there's aliens and Marines shooting each other in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, Half-Life 1, I've always got stuck at a specific part in the mission where you have to blow up the big blue thing, which is like there's one part in the level where you just run into a big military trap where a bunch of Marines are like behind like sandbags and things, and there's a guy hiding in a room and lots of things. And it wasn't really that hard now that I played it today, but I guess that's the problem of only playing a game once a year, is that you lose a lot of what you gain. But now actually going through and playing it, and I guess being a lot more aggressive with my save scumming, I'm making pretty good progress. And Half-Life 1 is a good old-fashioned classic FPS. It's very strange because Half-Life 1 pretty well invented the FPS as we know it now, where it isn't like Doom, where you just go through different levels and try to complete the puzzles and the score and things and get the kills and find the secrets, and there's no real plot, you just go through killing monsters, right?
Yeah.
Half-Life 1 was the first one to be like, oh, here's a story, there are characters talking, pay attention, you'll pick things up. There are some times where you're just watching things happen and not killing, you know? And like the aesthetics, like the game's levels were built to try and at least pretend to be like a world that existed before people were just going around shooting. It's like Doom was clearly built in that old video game philosophy of just like whatever works for gameplay. It doesn't have to make sense why this place would exist. I mean, with Hell, you don't need things to make sense, honestly, but it was just kind of goofy, some of the stuff in Phobos, the lab, which is like, why is there just a platform with no railing going over an acid pit, and there's a button in the acid pit? What the fuck? Why did the U.S. government be like, we need to put this in our Martian research lab? It needs to be there.
If the space scientists aren't strong enough to withstand the acid, then they're no space scientists of ours.
Yeah. With that said, Black Mesa and Half-Life 1 still has loads of shit that don't make no sense. It's stuff that's vaguely like almost trying to make sense, but you're like, why does Black Mesa move its cargo on hooks attached to zip lines running over a bottomless pit?
It looks cool.
Why does Black Mesa have the cargo being carried on zip lines run in front of the fucking tram system?
It
So
looks
that
cool.
people who drive the tram system through get fucking clotheslined by the cargo?
Keeps things interesting.
Yeah. I beat the mission on a rail, which is generally considered one of the worst missions, if not the worst mission in Half-Life 1. I gotta say, I got in. I was like a few minutes. I got like 10 minutes in. Did some puzzles, just a little bit of puzzling, and I was like, oh, you know what? It's actually not too bad. I see there's flaws here because the big problem is that it's supposed to be like a mission you do while you're on a tram and you're shooting from the tram, right? You're running around on a moving platform, shooting at enemies as you pass by.
Yeah.
Problem is, you don't really. There's one section that you need the tram for to get past, and that's it. Other than that, just fuck the tram. Get off the tram, go on foot. Control your own speeds. Not have to worry about all that stuff. So it's like, oh, well, that could be a problem. And then you see, oh yeah, it is a problem, because a lot of the set piece fights in that mission were designed with the assumption, oh, you're going to be on a tram for this. So there are a lot of moments that are supposed to be traps and ambushes to catch the player off guard while he's on the tram. But since you just gently walk up on foot, you just see the ambush, like everybody waiting to ambush you. You're like, okay, grenade. And so all those set piece traps do not work.
Nice.
I was like, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't remember. Didn't Black Mesa cut down on a tram? Because
Black Mesa.
Yeah.
I think Black Mesa cut out almost all of the on a rail level.
Yeah.
Along similar
I think
lines, like virtually everything nowadays that tries to retouch Half-Life 1, like Freeman's Mind, I think he figured out some trick that allowed him to just skip it, because they're on a rail has the most brutal speedrunning oversight I've ever seen. Because there is one section at the very beginning of the level where there's an elevator shaft. You can look directly up and see the end of the level, but you can't reach it, and you gotta go through the whole level to get there. Unless you figure out, oh, I can put explosive tripwires on the walls. Oh, the explosive tripwires have collision. So you just put 2 on the walls and climb up the explosive tripwires, and you can just jump right up to the end of the level. So a lot of speedrunners do that. I think there was also the more recent famous Half-Life 1 thing was Half-Life VR, but the AI is self-aware. And they used a map pack that just cut on a rail down to a much shorter size. Which leads into what I was going to say. I was like 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, this ain't so bad. I'm at the end here. It's a bit awkward that the set pieces didn't work because they hadn't thought out designing the tram or the map yet. But it's not that bad. I think people are overrating the map, which admittedly they weren't acting like it was the worst drizzling shits ever, but people do say it's an obvious weak point in the game. And I was like, it's just kind of a so-so level. It's not remarkably bad. And I was like, oh, I'm only a third of the way through the fucking level. Whole fucking level's one gigantic fucking maze.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I see. This definitely interrupts the flow. And the beautiful thing about Half-Life 1 is I did complete the level pretty well legit. But the beautiful thing about Half-Life 1 is if ever I decide to do a return playthrough, when I start out on a rail, I can do the speedrun exploit with the explosive tripwires. Alternatively, I can hit the tilde key. I can type into the developer console SV_cheats1, and then I can type in no clip 1, and I just fly my ass to the end of the level. You can't. Half-Life 1 is very strange, though, in that you can just access all the levels immediately. They don't need to be unlocked. As soon as you hit new game, it just brings up level select. It allows you to pick any of the levels. I don't know why.
That. I actually have played Half-Life 1. like years back, but I never completed it properly. I don't remember how how exactly I actually got to play it, but yeah, like I did play a bit of Half-Life 1, or at least the engine. So I do
Yeah,
remember that you can pick levels immediately.
they do that for other games, but like Portal, like they're locked until you actually get to them. So they changed the philosophy at some point, I guess.
Yeah.
I haven't played Half-Life 2 on PC yet, so I'll have to see. I do have it installed though, because I do want to run through the Half-Life series while I don't have internet, so I can just run through some single-player games. But Half-Life 1, what else was I going to say about Half-Life 1? I don't want to skip the level entirely though, because on a rail is the mission that ends with you launching the rocket, and that's pretty fun. And other than that, yeah, Half-Life 1, I'm going to try and finish it. And that is my week.
All right.
Addy, say bye. Oh, here comes the shit.
Addy, hurry!
Oh,
You're doing Alex.
He was always doomed.
Oh no.
the
Bye.
doom's cool though. Oh, he said bye. Well, I guess we could call that podcast then.